ये मोदी आपको गारंटी देता है, आपके हर घर में 80,000 रुपया। दिल्ली में आपने पीएम बनाया है, अब यहां भी बीजेपी का सीएम बनाइए। मैं आपको गारंटी देता हूं, यहां बिजली भी पर्याप्त आएगी और महंगे बिल से भी मुक्ति मिलेगी। साथियों, टीएमसी की सरकार ने आपको अच्छे स्कूलों और अस्पतालों से भी वंचित रखा है। बीजेपी सरकार बाकी देश के अलग अलग हिस्सों में, खास करके आदिवासी क्षेत्रों में एकलव्य मॉडल स्कूल बना रही है। बाकी जगहों पर आधुनिक पीएम श्री स्कूल बनाए जा रहे हैं। यहां भी ऐसे स्कूलों का हम विस्तार करेंगे। बीजेपी सरकार आयुष्मान आरोग्य केंद्रों का भी नेटवर्क बनाएगी। साथियों, यहां के आलू किसानों की तकलीफ की चर्चा मैं काफी समय से कर रहा हूं। आप यहां बीजेपी की सरकार बनाइए। यहां के किसानों की परेशानी को कम करने के लिए हम दिन रात एक कर देंगे। हम मेहनत करने में कमी नहीं करेंगे। बंगाल की मंडियों से टीएमसी के सिंडिकेट को खदेड़ा जाएगा ताकि आलू किसानों को, धान किसानों का शोषण बंद हो। आपके लिए बंगाल बीजेपी ने दो बहुत बड़ी घोषणाएं भी की है। बंगाल बीजेपी ने धान किसानों के लिए 3,100 रुपये का एमएसपी तय किया है। साथ ही बंगाल बीजेपी ने पीएम किसान सम्मान निधि को 6,000 रुपये से बढ़ाकर 9,000 रुपये करने की भी घोषणा की है। साथियों, 2014 से पहले देश में जब कांग्रेस की सरकार थी, टीएमसी के लोग उस सरकार में भागीदार थे। उस समय सिर्फ 8 या 10 वन उपज पर एमएसपी मिला करता था। ये हमारी सरकार है जो अब 100 के करीब वन उपज पर एमएसपी देती है। कहां 10 और कहां 100। लेकिन टीएमसी सरकार में आपको इसका भी फायदा नहीं मिलता। मैं आपको भरोसा देता हूं, मोदी की गारंटी है, उड़ीसा और छत्तीसगढ़ की बीजेपी की सरकार की तरह ही बंगाल के आदिवासी परिवारों को भी इसका पूरा लाभ दिया जाएगा। इससे यहां तेंदुपत्ता और साल पत्ता के काम में जुटे साथियों को बहुत फायदा होगा। साथ ही वन धन केंद्रों का भी विस्तार किया जाएगा ताकि आदिवासी बहनों की कमाई बढ़े और सभी का जीवन बेहतर हो। साथियों, जार ग्राम को अरण्य सुंदरी भी कहा जाता है। यहां पर्यटन के लिए अपार संभावनाएं हैं। यहां होम स्टे आधारित टूरिज्म, इको टूरिज्म खूब फल फूल सकता है। इसलिए यहां रेल कनेक्टिविटी पर केंद्र सरकार बहुत काम कर रही है। इस क्षेत्र को हमने 3 तेज रफ्तार वंदे भारत और 8 अमृत भारत ट्रेनों से भी जोड़ा है। लेकिन साथियों, रोड हो, रेल हो, ऐसी विकास परियोजनाओं पर तेजी से काम करने के लिए राज्य सरकार की सक्रियता जरूरी होती है और टीएमसी से यहां कोई उम्मीद बची नहीं है। इसलिए यहां बीजेपी का एमएलए और बीजेपी का सीएम बनाना बहुत जरूरी है। साथियों, मां सावित्री, मां कनक दुर्गा को प्रणाम करते हुए मैं बंगाल की बहनों को टीएमसी की दुर्नीति से सावधान करना चाहता हूं। टीएमसी मां माटी मानुष की बातें करके सत्ता में आई थी, लेकिन टीएमसी ने मां को धोखा दिया है। यह आपने पिछले दिनों संसद में भी देखा है। बीजेपी ने प्रयास किया कि महिलाओं को 2029 के चुनाव से भी आरक्षण का फायदा मिलना शुरू हो जाए, लेकिन महिला विरोधी टीएमसी ने, मां की विरोधी टीएमसी ने संसद में इसका विरोध किया। टीएमसी ने हर प्रकार के छल प्रपंच किए ताकि बंगाल की 33% महिलाएं एमएलए और एमपी न बन पाए। अब बंगाल के हर महिला को टीएमसी के इस पाप के लिए उसे सजा देनी है। महिला विरोधी टीएमसी को अब सरकार से जाना ही होगा। साथियों, बंगाल की बहनों को उनका हक मिले, बहनों को सुरक्षा मिले और कमाई के अवसर मिले, ये बीजेपी की प्राथमिकता है। आपके जीवन की हर छोटी छोटी चिंता का बीजेपी ध्यान रखती है। बहनों के घर की जिम्मेदारी उठाने में बीजेपी सरकार आपकी सहयोगी बनकर काम करेगी। इसलिए बीजेपी बहनों के लिए मातृशक्ति भरोसा कार्ड लेकर आई है। इसके तहत बंगाल की बहनों को हर साल 36,000 रुपये की मदद मिलेगी। कितने? 36,000 रुपये। कितने? जोर से बोलिए, कितने? बंगाल की बीजेपी सरकार बेटियों को ग्रेजुएशन की पढ़ाई के लिए 50,000 रुपया देगी। बेटियों के बैंक खातों में ज्यादा ब्याज देने वाली सुकन्या समृद्धि योजना को भी प्रोत्साहित किया जाएगा। गर्भावस्था के दौरान बहनों को बंगाल की बीजेपी सरकार 21,000 रुपये से अधिक देने वाली है। साथियों, बीजेपी सरकार बंगाल की लाखों बहनों को लखपति दीदी बनाने का लक्ष्य लेकर चल रही है। इसके लिए महिला सेल्फ हेल्प ग्रुप से जुड़ी महिलाओं को भी हजारों रुपये की मदद दी जाएगी। जो बहनें अपने मन का काम करना चाहे, स्वरोजगार करना चाहे, उनको मुद्रा योजना के तहत 20 लाख रुपए तक की मदद दी जाएगी। साथियों, बीजेपी बहनों का खर्च कम करने वाली और बचत बढ़ाने वाली पार्टी है। टीएमसी के लोग आपके हक का मुफ्त चावल चुराते हैं। बीजेपी आपके हक का पूरा चावल आपको देगी, मुफ्त राशन देगी। टीएमसी आपके पक्के घर के हक में भी डाका डालती है। बीजेपी बहनों के खाते में 1.5 लाख रुपए तक जमा करेगी ताकि वे अपना पक्का घर बना सके। ये मोदी की गारंटी है। साथियों, बहनों बेटियों के इलाज का बोझ परिवार पर न पड़े, ये भी बीजेपी का प्रयास है। बीजेपी सरकार 5 लाख रुपए तक मुफ्त इलाज की सुविधा देगी, जिसका फायदा यहां की लाखों बहनों को होगा। जन औषधि केंद्रों पर 80% डिस्काउंट पर दवाएं मिलेगी और अगर किडनी से जुड़ी बीमारी है तो सरकारी अस्पताल में डायलिसिस मुफ्त होगा। बीजेपी सरकार बंगाल की बेटियों को सर्वाइकल कैंसर के मुफ्त टीके लगाएगी। आदिवासी बहनों और बेटियों की सिकल सेल बीमारी से जुड़ी मुफ्त जांच होगी। यानी बीजेपी सुरक्षा भी देगी, सुविधा भी देगी, कमाई भी देगी और बहनों को बचत भी देगी। इसलिए याद रखिए, बीजेपी यानी महिलाओं की खुशहाली। बीजेपी यानी महिलाओं की खुशहाली। साथियों, बीजेपी पर देश के आदिवासी समाज का बहुत अधिक भरोसा है, आशीर्वाद है। जहां भी बड़ी संख्या में आदिवासी रहते हैं, वहां बीजेपी की सरकार है। उड़ीसा हो, छत्तीसगढ़ हो, वहां बीजेपी के आदिवासी मुख्यमंत्री है। आदिवासी समाज के एमएलए और एमपी बड़ी संख्या में बीजेपी में है, क्योंकि बीजेपी आदिवासी कला, संस्कृति और विकास के प्रति संवेदनशील है। साथियों, पश्चिम बंगाल में बिरहोर, लोढ़ा और टोटो जैसी अति पिछड़ी जनजातियां हैं। इनके विकास के लिए भी पहली बार पीएम जनमन योजना बनाई गई है। लेकिन टीएमसी सरकार जनमन योजना से भी अपनी दुश्मनी निकाल रही है। जैसे ही आप तृणमूल की निर्मम सरकार को हटाएंगे, बीजेपी सरकार पीएम जनमन योजना का लाभ हर लाभार्थी परिवार तक पहुंचाएगी। साथियों, 4 ग्राम के हर मतदाता से मेरा एक ही अनुरोध है, इन
चमकी चाट से क्या बना है?
आलू चाट या फ्रूट चाट,
स्वाद बनाए चमकी चाट।
क्या बात है? स्वादिष्ट पकोड़े और फरसान, अरे चमकी चाट है इसकी जान।
असली स्वाद सिर्फ चमकी चाट।
यानी इस घर में कुछ है जो टूटता नहीं।
ये पिलर कभी नहीं टूटेगा। रुंगटा स्टील टीएमटी से बना।
रुंगटा नहीं तो घर स्ट्रॉन्ग नहीं। रुंगटा स्टील टीएमटी बार एकदम सॉलिड।
आर प्योर शाही पनीर मसाला, डिलीशियस, healthy every day.
The Indian Air Force is giving its old MiG-29 fighter jets a powerful new weapon from Britain that turns them into modern fighters ready for today's battles. MiG-29s first came to India in the 1980s, have flown many missions along the tough borders with China and Pakistan. Now they are getting equipped with British ASRAAM missiles that make them as strong as NATO planes in close fights. The Ministry of Defense sent out a request for proposals to fit the Advanced Short-Range Air-to-Air Missile on the MiG-29 UPG version. This British missile from the company MBDA replaces the old Russian R-73 that pilots used for years. The R-73 could only reach targets 10 to 15 kilometers away, which forced pilots to fly too close to the enemy and take big risks. The ASRAAM changes all that. It can hit targets more than 25 kilometers away, almost double the old range. It flies at Mach 3 speed and uses a smart infrared seeker that ignores enemy flares and jamming better than before. The Indian Air Force flies more than 55 of these MiG-29 UPG jets in frontline squadrons. These planes guard the northern and western borders day and night. Earlier upgrades added new radars, engines, and digital cockpits, but the short-range missiles stayed old. Now the ASRAAM brings fire-and-forget technology. Once the pilot locks on and fires, the missile finds the target on its own, even if the jet turns away to dodge enemy fire. It also works with helmet-mounted displays, so the pilot can just look at the enemy plane through the visor and the missile follows the eyes. This high off-bore sight ability lets the jet attack from strange angles without turning the whole plane.
India's real estate story is changing not just in terms of the numbers, but in the way the sector is thinking and moving forward. On one hand, policy is stepping in to unlock stuck projects. On the other hand, the domestic capital is quietly taking the lead. And now a new generation of leaders are beginning to shape what comes next. From markets like NCR to the way we design, build and invest, the shift is already underway. Welcome to Our Estate, Building the Nation. My name is Nayan. Let's take you through the top stories shaping the sector this week.
A big relief for home buyers stuck in delayed housing projects. The government has moved to fast-track real estate insolvency cases. Finance Minister Nirmala Sitharaman has allowed land authorities to participate in Committee of Creditors meetings for real estate cases. The aim is to bring faster coordination and quicker resolutions. So far, delays in land approvals and regulatory clearances have slowed down insolvency processes. Now, with land authorities at the table, key discussions can be taken faster, reducing project delays.
One big step is when the COC can invite relevant land authorities, whether they are Huda or Noida, such authorities can come and authorize or come and comment on the legitimacy of these land and the properties to their meetings for inputs. They can invite them to their meetings for inputs and perspectives on the regulatory and land development related matters. So we are allowing them to directly contact these authorities which have given the land for development.
The impact could be significant. Over 1.6 lakh home buyers have already received homes through insolvency resolution. Many projects are still stuck.
So this is a very good initiative taken by the government, that government is taking the authorities from the land owners also. But this will create the history now, and this will create the good impact on the buyers as well and on the land owners as well.
The focus now is to clearly revive projects, not just recover dues, and restore confidence in the housing market. A reform that could cut delays and bring long-awaited relief to home buyers.
In a move to empower the next generation of real estate lenders, NAREDCO's Next Gen has launched its NCR chapter. Bringing together young professionals from Noida, Gurugram and across the NCR. The platform aims to drive collaboration, innovation, and stronger policy engagement.
Now coming on to the opportunities which we will be creating. So our vision really with the NAREDCO Next Gen NCR is to build a very strong platform for the next generation of leaders, developers, architects, brokers. Like NCR is a very rapidly evolving real estate market, and our vision really is to build a very strong platform where we all can connect, collaborate, and lead.
The chapter will be led by Siddharth Jain as president, focusing on building future-ready leadership in one of India's most active real estate markets. With NCR at the center of rapid urban growth, the initiative will focus on sustainable development, industry dialogue, and knowledge sharing.
So we really want to ensure that NCR as a region comes out very nicely, and we want to align it with Prime Minister's vision of it becoming a smart city, and NAREDCO Next Gen NCR is ready to help them in whatever way possible.
Through summits, roundtables, and direct engagement with policymakers, the chapter aims to shape a more innovative and future-ready real estate ecosystem.
Now, while policy and investment continue to shape the business of real estate, it is the vision and design that redefine how this space actually comes to life. In our design dialogue today, we bring to you a special feature from Kolkata Primark Square, a project that reflects more integrated and community-driven approach to workspaces. At the center of the vision is Siddharth Pansari, a Harvard Business School alumnus and a leading voice in the industry who believes in building ecosystems and not just standalone developments. Here's our feature story.
Pansari, and it's a pleasure to be on this show today, and it will be a great journey to share our learning on the Primark journey with all. And across these journeys, whether it was Raymond, Crossword, Harvard, or the online business that we did, we picked up multiple learnings during that journey. Some of has become core values which have stayed with us today. I really believe life should be like a crossword puzzle, full of fun plus learning. And throughout my journey and the journey that will be forward, learning has been a very, very key part of what I am and what I want to be. So bookstores, I really believe, add a lot of value to us, and it's also our way of giving back to society. Everything in life can't be money, though bookstores don't make money, or the money that other businesses make. It is something that has really motivated me and shaped me. One of the really important parts or the fulfilling part of my journey has been Crossword All Story, where my interactions through different people, through different fields of life, meeting a Booker Prize winner, or winning a Nobel Prize winner like Amartya Sen, sharing the same dais with them, interacting with them, has really shaped me, has really made me accept diverse points of view, and has really shaped the character or the person that I am. So it really, really adds a lot of value to us, and it's beyond commerce. The whole intent of the design is to have a very open system, a very open culture, which is very, very seamless. So I think normally many people go out to do their events. So we wanted to connect the office internally rather than externally. So we wanted a space where people could come together for town halls, for meetings, for interactions, for get-togethers. So every month, we have one or two events where just all of us come together, we celebrate, we also have business discussions, we have a town halls, we also have musical programs. So I think it's one of the very core designs of the architecture. This is something actually I picked up, to be honest, from the Harvard amphitheater in the Harvard Business School. And since that, when the intent was that whenever we'll create an office, we'll have an amphitheater which connects all the floors where people can meet, collaborate. It's also very, a lot of times we get monotonous working at our own desk. So it becomes a space where people just move out, grab their coffee, sit and work from there. It also helps us in doing a larger events like a business presentation or getting the whole team together and so on. We also really believe, good quality of air, greenery, landscapes really adds value to our lives and health. So that has been an essence. What we've also done is tried to work around the limitations. In every project, in every thing that we create, there are constraints. We've also ensured that we have more than 1600 planters inside the office when you walk through, which ensure that there is a good quality of air for everybody in the office who's working over here, even for the customers, even for the visitors who come here. So I think I take great pride in saying that this is one of the most indigenous offices that you will see in India, where there is 100% material, made in India for India. There is not even a single square feet of Italian leather or Italian flooring. And throughout this journey, we've tried to use as much as natural materials as possible, whether it's the wood that we've sourced or any of the materials that we've sourced to try to employ normal. Even the art that we have in this office, if you look around the art, is all done through local artisans in Bengal, and that's how we've been able to make this office. Also, it's very, very driven by efficiency and function. So instead of having, things which are very, very loud, we've had to very subtle design, but very efficient design. So more than 50% of the office is carpeted, which actually reduces the noise. The other thing what we try to do, we have very, very large windows, which ensures more sunlight. So, each person is more energetic. Whether it's a home or an office, noise can actually be disturbing. It actually invades the privacy of people working. So what we've tried to do, we've tried to use sound-friendly materials, sound-resistant materials. So 50% of the office is carpet, which acts as a natural acoustic for sound. Apart from that, instead of having fancy false ceiling, we have acoustic ceilings, which try to absorb the sound. Whatever acoustics we could build in, we built in the system, so that sound is absorbed. And there's so many people working here, but the sound generated is only 20% of the normal sound that should have otherwise people would have heard. At Primark, quality wins over quantity. The essence is to do limited but really meaningful projects. Projects that really bring people together. People should enjoy using our homes even 20 years from now, and not only when they buy it. We also really understand the value of a home to the customer. A home is one of the rare products where you actually pay 4 years before even you got the product, and you also started paying EMIs on it even before you got the home, So we understand the emotional value. So with that, we want to give our very, very best to every space that we make. On the portfolio side, we want to do a bunch of stuff, so we want to balance our commercial and residential portfolio. In commercial, we've just taken over a very large IT asset from DLF last year. And on the resi side, we are building one of the most luxurious projects India will ever see. So it's a bunch of stuff, and that keeps us motivated, happy, and a challenge every day. Thank you very, very much and for having me today. I think it's been a real pleasure on behalf of Primark and everybody at Primark to share our journey with you. Thank you so much for having us.
From how spaces are imagined to how they are actually built, the real transformation is happening at the level of materials, technology, and design thinking. In What's New, we take a closer look at the innovations driving construction today. From next-generation materials to sustainability-led approaches and evolving interior aesthetics that are reshaping modern spaces.
Every winter, North India chokes on smoke from burning crop residue. But what if that same waste could build our homes? Across India, startups are turning Parali agricultural stubble into high-performance building materials. These agro-waste panels are not just eco-friendly, they are engineered to be fire-resistant, durable and sound-absorbing. Instead of burning stubble and worsening air pollution, farmers now have an alternative revenue stream by selling it to manufacturers. For developers, this means access to sustainable materials that reduce construction emissions without compromising on quality. It's a solution that connects rural economies with urban infrastructure, while directly addressing North India's pollution crisis. From farm residue to future-ready real estate, this is the circular economy in action. And this shift is already underway. Companies like Kriya Labs, Structure Eco and Green Jams are converting farm waste into scalable construction solutions. What if one of the world's strongest building materials grew on trees? Engineered bamboo is making a strong comeback in India's luxury and eco-conscious real estate. Scientifically treated and processed, bamboo can rival, even exceed, the strength of mild steel in certain applications. From boutique resorts to premium eco-villas, developers are using bamboo as a primary structural and aesthetic element. It's lightweight, flexible, and rapidly renewable, making it ideal for sustainable construction. In a country like India, where bamboo has deep cultural roots, this revival blends tradition with cutting-edge engineering. Stronger, greener, and deeply rooted bamboo is redefining luxury construction. And this shift is already taking shape. Companies like Bamboo India, Bamboo Living, and EcoPlanet Bamboo are driving innovation in engineered bamboo for modern construction.
And beyond all that's trending and transforming, there is one question that continues to define the market for the millions of Indians. In 2026, should you buy a home, or is renting the smarter financial decision? In our Clarity Corner, we break this down with our insights from industry expert Ashwinder R. Singh ji, who's looking at affordability, flexibility and long-term value.
I'm Ashwinder R. Singh. Let's get to the point. Let's begin with a question that sits at the heart of every Indian household. Should you buy a home or continue to rent? For decades, the answer was almost cultural. Ownership meant stability, renting meant transition. But in 2026, the equation has changed. And the data tells us why. Across India today, residential rental yields largely range between 2 to 4%. In many cities, even premium properties struggle to cross that band. At the same time, home loan interest rates remain elevated, which means from a pure cash flow perspective, renting often appears more efficient. But that is only half the truth, because real estate in India has never been a yield-driven asset. It is a capital appreciation asset. Over long cycles, well-located residential properties have appreciated at 6 to 12 to 15% annually. In some markets, returns over the last decades have crossed even 100 to 200%, which means the real return in real estate does not come from rent. It comes from time, and there is more. In just the last 1 year, residential real estate has delivered close to 15% total returns in key Indian cities, quietly and without the volatility seen in the capital markets. That is a structural difference. Renting gives flexibility. Buying builds ownership. So the decision is not binary, it is contextual. If your career is evolving, your city is uncertain, or your capital is better deployed elsewhere, renting is a rational choice. But if your income is stable, your horizon is long, and your intent is ownership, then buying becomes a long-term wealth decision. And there is one final layer: inflation. Rents in India are expected to rise year after year. Your EMI, once locked in a fixed rate, does not. So over time, rent becomes an expense, EMI becomes an asset. So what is the answer? In 2026, renting is not a mistake. Buying is not a shortcut. But in a volatile world, real estate continues to stand out as a stable long-term asset class. And clarity is not choosing between rent and buy. It's knowing when to move from flexibility to ownership.
From policy and leadership to design and innovation and consumer choices, real estate today is being shaped by multiple forces at once. That's all what we have for you today in today's episode of Our Estate. Stay tuned. We'll be right back with more stories and insights from across the real estate landscape. My name is Nayan.
प्योर सूजी पास्ता उबालो मिलाओ और खाओ
8 मिनट में तैयार।
क्या टेस्ट है सबका राजा आर प्योर मसाला। केसरिया से मन जोगी हुआ रे दिल झूमे देखो मतवारा हुआ रे केसरिया से मन जोगी हुआ।
हर पल मनाओ केसरी त्योहार। विमल बोलो जुबान केसरी।
थोड़े में ज्यादा स्वाद, यही तो है इसकी खास बात। वाओ मामा, क्या स्वाद है। अरे मेरे राजा, सबका राजा आर प्योर मसाला।
The Indian Air Force is giving its old MiG-29 fighter jets a powerful new weapon from Britain that turns them into modern fighters ready for today's battles. MiG-29s first came to India in the 1980s, have flown many missions along the tough borders with China and Pakistan. Now they are getting equipped with British ASRAAM missiles that make them as strong as NATO planes in close fights. The Ministry of Defense sent out a request for proposals to fit the Advanced Short-Range Air-to-Air Missile on the MiG-29 UPG version. This British missile from the company MBDA replaces the old Russian R-73 that pilots used for years. The R-73 could only reach targets 10 to 15 kilometers away, which forced pilots to fly too close to the enemy and take big risks. The ASRAAM changes all that. It can hit targets more than 25 kilometers away, almost double the old range. It flies at Mach 3 speed and uses a smart infrared seeker that ignores enemy flares and jamming better than before. The Indian Air Force flies more than 55 of these MiG-29 UPG jets in frontline squadrons. These planes guard the northern and western borders day and night. Earlier upgrades added new radars, engines, and digital cockpits, but the short-range missiles stayed old. Now the ASRAAM brings fire-and-forget technology. Once the pilot locks on and fires, the missile finds the target on its own, even if the jet turns away to dodge enemy fire. It also works with helmet-mounted displays, so the pilot can just look at the enemy plane through the visor and the missile follows the eyes. This high off-bore sight ability lets the jet attack from strange angles without turning the whole plane first. This upgrade matters a lot because the region stays tense. Pakistan flies JF-17 jets with modern PL-10 missiles that reach farther and lock on quicker. China uses even better systems on its J-20 stealth fighters and other planes. In a real dogfight, the old MiG-29 with R-73 could lose the first shot. With ASRAAM, the Indian pilots get longer reach, faster lock, and higher chance to survive. The missile also works well against low-flying drones that are hard to see on radar. Many experts see drone swarms as the new big threat in air wars, and this upgrade gives the MiG-29 a strong answer. The ASRAAM already proved itself on Indian planes. The Air Force fitted it successfully on...
From Asia's largest news headquarters, setting the agenda for Bharat. You're watching Republic.
Welcome viewers, you're watching live and breaking on Republic TV with me, Ishita Mitra. Now viewers, a protest by the BJP against the opposition blocking women reservation bill in the parliament continues to intensify all across the country, with women now hitting the streets. All that and more lined up ahead for you, but first up a quick check at the headlines we're tracking for you at this hour. The mastermind behind violence during protest in Noida, Aditya, was detained from Trichy and now brought back to Uttar Pradesh. PM launches another direct attack on TMC while campaigning in Bengal, says Mamta's party even loots basic rights like water. After reports emerge of IPAC shutting field operations in Bengal, TMC denies claims, says IPAC fully working with them. Union Home Minister Amit Shah to hold a massive roadshow in Chennai's Mylapore, where BJP's Tamil on the region is contesting from. Republic accesses remand note of accused in TCS grooming gang scandal. Accused repeatedly harassed victim by making inappropriate comments. ED raids 2 properties linked to Kolkata. DCP Shantanu Biswa also detains Sun Enterprise Managing Director JS Kamadar. All right, viewers, our top focus on this hour. A 7-day total shutdown has now been imposed all across the state by Meira Paibi, also known as women's torch bearers. Now, they are demanding the arrest of those behind Tronglaobi bomb attack by April 25. That's the deadline. They have said the shutdown, in fact, has brought normal life to a standstill, with roads deserted, markets, shops and establishments still shut across the state. Now, commercial vehicles are off the roads completely, with only a few private vehicles still seen plying. Now, this is what Women's Torchbearer Group, in fact, has been demanding as far as the attack goes. They've set a deadline that all those behind the deadly attack should be arrested by April 25th. Now, till then, A shutdown has been imposed in the state. In fact, we also have a ground report on these developments coming to light from Manipur. Take a look.
Since total shutdown for 5 days have been declared by the JC against the killing of 2 children for Tronglaobi incident, along with the family members of the victim family, and also along with the various CSOs, local bodies, it affects the day-to-day life in a very serious way. Right now, I'm staying in Lamlong area of Imphal East. Roads on both sides have been blocked by the protesters, showing respect, to the 2 deceased children. You can see in the background here. We can see the vehicles turning back from where they came. All shops are shut. Only medical stores are remain open.
All right, viewers, moving on to another breaking news coming in at this hour. Now, energy crisis had hit Rawalpindi. Now, as Pak struggles to contain the West Asia fallout, not enough petrol or diesel is now left at home as Pak generals now try ceasefire abroad. We're looking at energy crisis, in fact, hitting Pakistan. Pakistan now struggling to get its supplies of petrol and diesel as we are looking at the ceasefire talks still being a very uncertain and ceasefire still holding on very shaky grounds in West Asia. Now, Pak here is trying to be a negotiator, but we have seen the first talks completely failing, completely falling flat. The efforts put forward by Islamabad and the date for the second round of talks is not even out as the deadline is about to, in fact, close. So we are looking at energy crisis hitting Pakistan as Rawalpindi continues to struggle to get its supplies of petrol and diesel. Now, this energy crisis has hit, in fact, Rawalpindi. Pakistan continue to struggle to contain the West Asia fallout, and not enough supplies of petrol and diesel are currently present at home. This as Pak generals still try to have a ceasefire in place abroad. Now, remember, Pakistan has been trying to, in fact, get its ceasefire in place, but we have seen that first rounds of negotiation completely falling flat. My colleague Abhishek Kapoor now joins with more details on this. Abhishek, we had seen the first round of negotiations between Iran and the US completely falling flat, and Pakistan's efforts to have a second round in place are also not looking very bright. And amidst this energy crisis now hitting Islamabad.
Well, you see, the ceasefire helps everyone, including India, but the point here is that all the grandstanding that Islamabad was doing with those talks happening in Pakistan, the reality is that they are not able to manage the situation well. Rawalpindi, of course, is very symbolic given the fact that it's the headquarters, general headquarters there. Pakistan Army Chief, their field marshal sits there. And for them to be imposing these kind of restrictions where goods cannot ply, goods carriers cannot ply, is something that speaks volumes about how they have been able to manage the crisis or not able to manage the crisis. In fact, this is just one of the many restrictions that have been put in place, including 4 days a week work in some places, restrictions, austerity measures in commercial capital like Karachi. Among others, even national capital Islamabad is facing restrictions, if not a complete lockdown. But this really takes it to the next level, where Rawalpindi, which is where the Pak Army headquarters are, they having put in restrictions, and with the kind of thing, the way the things are being managed, Ishita, it's clearly a case of a lot of grandstanding coming in from Islamabad, even as there is a lot of chaos, mismanagement and misgovernance at home with the petrol, diesel prices skyrocketing. And now, even despite that, they are not able to manage the supplies and hence putting in these restrictions.
Right, Abhishek. So Pakistan's military now also feeling the heat of energy crisis. But where are we with the second round of negotiations? We are inching closer to the ceasefire deadline, and the next date for the second round has not been announced yet.
Well, it's unconnected. It's not connected with this. The second round of talks, whenever they happen, would obviously happen still in Pakistan because of the kind of momentum that's there for General Asim Munir, given the fact that President Trump has posted words of praise for him. But as of now, it seems that the ceasefire is holding tenuously, and unlikely that this might get reviewed, given the kind of closure of Hormuz we have seen within 24 hours of opening, and then, of course, a saber rattling back at the end of Washington, D.C., with President Trump saying that he is going to scrap ceasefire. So that remains doubtful whether second round of talks would happen in Islamabad, if at all. But parallelly with this kind of mismanagement really brings out the contrast between the superpower delusions that Asim Munir might have developed because of the optics of a summit in Islamabad vis-a-vis the reality on the ground, where Pakistan is really struggling to meet both ends.
Right, of course. So thanks, Abhishek, for joining us and giving us all the latest on this and putting these developments into perspective for our viewers. Now, viewers, in an exclusive interview with Republic, a TCS employee has thrown light on the ongoing TCS grooming gang scandal in Nasik. Now, he details how employees belonging to one faith were given concessions due to prayers, but he further alleges that Hindu employees were also pressured with extra work as well. Listen into this exclusive conversation that Republic had with a TCS employee who now gives us details about the explosive allegations that have come to light in this case.
I have such case with me right now who is currently employed with that particular company, with TCS from Pune. Sir, I would like to first mention that you are working with the TCS, but can you just tell me that what exactly is happening with you or has happened with you?
So currently, I'll just narrate the experiences what I have seen or what are experiences in the IT industry. It is not company specific, but it is in the IT industry only. When I was traveling on a project at the client side, there was an event where my colleague, who was like Muslim, and he used to narrate me the stories from Quran every day after lunch time. And he was given permission to narrate these stories of Quran. So I was like liking it, the stories. Then one time I asked him, what was this? Why you are telling me the stories? So he said like his objective was to get me, I should adopt this Islam anytime during my lifespan so that I could get the Jannah. So this was very annoying. This is not now, but it was long time back when I was traveling to a client side. So my observation here was then I was not very happy with it, but I did not know how to proceed with, how to tell this to the media or these people, so I ignored it. Since I need the job, I need to earn money for my family and for my survival, so I could not get up the courage to come on media and tell this. So question here is how these people are getting this courage to tell this or to work on this conversion of religion with the Hindu people. So there is definitely the requirement of government to make strict rules, corporates to come forward and take cognizance of this and frame the laws so that this kind of events should not happen within their premises. So I will not say this is like any corporate is involved in this, but the employees of these corporates who are hired or who are there in these corporates, they do this purposefully.
Right. Sir, as you mentioned rightly, I just want to ask you one question. You mentioned rightly that no company has any specific role with this, but people around you, you mentioned that they used to force you about specific things. So can you just throw light a little bit on that?
Light means what, ma'am?
Sir, can you just tell more about that, what exactly happened with you over the period of time, and did anyone take cognizance of it? Have you lodged a complaint with your company about it?
So then when this incident happened, this was like long back, and then I was not with, I was with one of the Indian IT company from Chennai. I went from that company to the on-site, and there it happened. Again, other things were happening in the we experienced were during the Ramadan period. Most of the meeting rooms were converted into their prayer rooms, where they used to perform their prayers 5 times a day. Whenever these prayers were they used to perform prayers, at that time we were not allowed to call them into meetings, or they were given privilege to go out of this meeting and perform their prayer. Even during this meeting, the prayer times comes in. These people used to bluntly tell everyone it is their prayer time and they cannot attend this meeting, and they used to go. By this, what was implications to us is the work they have been assigned. This work was somehow we were supposed to do this work, and we were loaded with a lot of work. And they were never questioned why they did not do the work. If they have the prayer time, they should have done their part of work in extra time, but they never do it. This extra workload used to come to the Hindu employees, and they never complained about it. So this was ignored by most of the IT companies as well.
So you are saying, sir, that this is happening in the most IT companies around, and no one is really taking cognizance of it, and this has become a trend in IT sector now.
When says IT sector, what happens? As per my understanding, these people try to see that everyone should. This is knowledge-based a sector. So every knowledge can be available by any kind of people, any region of people. So it is need of them to show themselves as a secular, and to show this, they are hiring these people, Muslim people, and they do this in a very organized way. They get safe environment to do their and plan their activities into the prayer rooms. No one can question them, and they target specific employees or specific females as well.
So anyone around you, any female colleague which has experienced some or the other thing around you, not only in a specific company but throughout your experience, have you ever noticed it?
No, I'm not aware of any female being exploited like Nasik. I can just narrate the event what I have experienced.
And now, viewers, as the polling day inches closer in the election-bound state of West Bengal, we are looking at back-to-back rallies being conducted by the Prime Minister, who is now sharpening his attack against TMC. Now, even today, he took on Mamata government on the issue of infiltration, development, and even TMC not supporting the women's quota bill in Parliament. Now, this has state gears up for polls on 23rd. That's the first phase. Here's a glimpse of what all Prime Ministers said in his back-to-back rallies today.
साथियों, यहाँ कई सारी सिंचाई परियोजनाएं रुकी पड़ी हैं। आप सुवर्ण रेखा प्रोजेक्ट की ही हालत देखिए, दशकों बीत गए, लेकिन नहरों में पानी नहीं आया। किसानों की आंखों में से पानी सूखता नहीं है। ये निर्मम सरकार सिर्फ लूट में जुटी है, लूट में, और लुटेरों को बचाने में ही ये निर्मम सरकार दिन रात लगी रहती है। मैं आज आपको भरोसा देता हूं, बीजेपी सरकार टीएमसी की इस लूट को बंद करेगी और आपके खेत तक पानी पहुंचाएगी। साथियों, तृणमूल ने बंगाल के किसानों को कदम कदम पर धोखा दिया है। आलू किसानों की क्या स्थिति है ये हम सभी देख रहे हैं। मंडियों पर, कोल्ड स्टोरेज पर टीएमसी की सिंडिकेट का कब्जा है। बीजेपी सिंडिकेट के इस कब्जे को जमीन से उखाड़ करके फेंक देगी, चुन चुन करके इनको खाली करवाएगी।
आपने देखा है कि संसद में क्या हुआ है। टीएमसी ने बंगाल की बहनों के साथ एक और धोखा दिया है। बंगाल की बहनें चाहती थी कि उनको 33% आरक्षण मिले। मोदी ने ये सुनिश्चित किया। बंगाल की बहनें चाहती थी कि ये 2029 से ही लागू हो। मोदी ने इसके लिए भी प्रयास किया, लेकिन टीएमसी नहीं चाहती थी कि बंगाल की बेटियां ज्यादा संख्या में एमएलए बने, ज्यादा संख्या में एमपी बने, क्योंकि बंगाल की बेटियां इनके महाजंगल राज को चुनौती दे रही है। इसलिए टीएमसी ने कांग्रेस के साथ मिलकर साजिश रची और इन्होंने महिलाओं के लिए 33% सीट सुरक्षित रखने का कानून नहीं बनने दिया। साथियों, आज पूरी दुनिया राष्ट्रपति द्रौपदी मुर्मू जी का सम्मान करती है, लेकिन आदिवासी विरोधी टीएमसी उनका अपमान करती है। यहां बंगाल में जब राष्ट्रपति जी आई तो टीएमसी ने कैसे उनका अपमान किया ये पूरे देश ने देखा है। बंगाल की बहनें आदिवासी समाज के इस अपमान को, एक राष्ट्रपति के अपमान को कभी भी नहीं भूलेगा। आप मुझे बताइए, राष्ट्रपति का अपमान हमें मंजूर है क्या? राष्ट्रपति का अपमान हमें मंजूर है क्या? राष्ट्रपति का अपमान करने वालों को सजा मिलनी चाहिए कि नहीं मिलनी चाहिए? राष्ट्रपति का अपमान ये महिलाओं का अपमान है कि नहीं है? राष्ट्रपति का अपमान आदिवासियों का अपमान है कि नहीं है? राष्ट्रपति का अपमान संविधान का अपमान है कि नहीं है? साथियों, बहनों की सुरक्षा, आप माताओं बहनों का सम्मान और आप माताओं बहनों की समृद्धि, ये बीजेपी की प्राथमिकता है।
All right, viewers, now shifting focus to what's happening in the United States. Now, a shooting incident has been reported at the University of Iowa in the country. In fact, several people have been injured. They have been taken to hospital and no arrest has been made so far in this early morning shooting that's now taken place at the University of Iowa. Now, it has prompted, in fact, people to flee the area. We're getting you visuals of the same from the university campus where the shooting incident has been reported. Now, several people have been reported to be injured in this attack, but the details of those who have been injured has not been revealed by the security officials so far, and no arrest has been made in this case. Investigation continues in this shooting incident, which has now taken place at the University of Iowa in the United States. All right, we are now shifting focus to what's happening in Ukraine. Now, a gunman in this case opened fire in Kyiv's supermarket, killing at least 6 people and injuring around 10, including a child. Now, this gunman took hostages and shot at police as well during a tense standoff in a nearby mall complex. Now, officers soon launched a raid, rescuing about 4 hostages while eliminating the attacker. Investigations continue as victims are now receiving treatment and officials secure the scene. Here's a detailed report on everything that we know so far about this shooting incident. Take a look.
In a horrifying act of violence shaking Kiev's Holosivsky district, a gunman unleashed a deadly rampage on Saturday, slaughtering at least 6 innocent civilians and injuring at least 10 others, including a young child now fighting for their lives in hospitals. The attacker barricaded himself inside a supermarket, taking hostages and opening fire on police in a tense standoff that spilled into a nearby mall complex where officers took cover amid echoing gunfire. As chaos gripped the streets and bystanders were rushed to safety, elite police units launched a daring operation, rescuing 4 terrified hostages in the nick of time. The gunman was eliminated on the spot during the arrest attempt, bringing a swift end to the terror. Ukraine's Interior Minister Ihor Klimenko confirmed the new Minister of Internal Affairs Ihor Klimenko has just reported that the attacker in Kiev who opened fire on civilians has been eliminated. All the circumstances are being established. At present, 5 people have been confirmed killed. My condolences to the families and loved ones. 10 people are currently hospitalized with injuries and trauma. All are receiving the necessary assistance. 4 hostages have been rescued. We expect a swift investigation. Investigators of the National Police and the Security Service of Ukraine are working. I have instructed the Minister of Internal Affairs and the head of the National Police of Ukraine to make all verified information in this case available to the public. With investigations underway by National Police and Security Services, Kiev mourns as authorities vow justice and verified updates.
All right, viewers, coming up on the other side, we get you all the details of what's happening. In fact, as a TCS grooming gang scandal now widens, we're looking at Republic accessing the note remand of the accused who repeatedly harassed a victim by making inappropriate comments.
चमकी चाट से क्या बना है?
सैंडविच, लस्सी और छाछ
हर घूंट में चमकी चाट, ड्राई फ्रूट और दही बड़े। चमकी चाट से स्वाद बढ़े।
असली स्वाद सिर्फ चमकी चाट।
केसरिया से मन जोगी हुआ रे, दिल झूमे देखो मतवारा हुआ रे। केसरिया से मन जोगी हुआ।
हर पल मनाओ केसरी त्योहार। विमल, बोलो जुबान केसरी।
आर प्योर शाही पनीर मसाला, डिलीशियस, हेल्दी एवरी डे।
The Indian Air Force is giving its old MiG-29 fighter jets a powerful new weapon from Britain that turns them into modern fighters ready for today's battles. MiG-29s first came to India in the 1980s, have flown many missions along the tough borders with China and Pakistan. Now they are getting equipped with British ASRAAM missiles that make them as strong as NATO planes in close fights. The Ministry of Defense sent out a request for proposals to fit the Advanced Short-Range Air-to-Air Missile on the MiG-29 UPG version. This British missile from the company MBDA replaces the old Russian R-73 that pilots used for years. The R-73 could only reach targets 10 to 15 kilometers away, which forced pilots to fly too close to the enemy and take big risks. The ASRAAM changes all that. It can hit targets.
3 days left for the polling in Tamil Nadu and West Bengal. Now, Home Minister Amit Shah takes on DMK in Mylapore, while Prime Minister sharpens his attack on TMC with back-to-back rallies. So, in which direction are the winds blowing in election-bound states? Now, we'll get you all those updates from on ground at 6 p.m. on The Verdict.
प्योर सूजी पास्ता उबालो मिलाओ और खाओ
8 मिनट में तैयार
क्या टेस्ट है सबका राजा आर प्योर मसाला
Character, the taste of success.
थोड़े में ज्यादा स्वाद यही तो है इसकी खास बात। वाओ मामा क्या स्वाद है? अरे मेरे राजा सबका राजा आर प्योर मसाला।
The Indian Air Force is giving its old MiG-29 fighter jets a powerful new weapon from Britain that turns them into modern fighters ready for today's battles. MiG-29s first came to India in the 1980s, have flown many missions along the tough borders with China and Pakistan. Now they are getting equipped with British ASRAAM missiles that make them as strong as NATO planes in close fights. The Ministry of Defense sent out a request for proposals to fit the Advanced Short-Range Air-to-Air Missile on the MiG-29 UPG version. This British missile from the company MBDA replaces the old Russian R-73 that pilots used for years. The R-73 could only reach targets 10 to 15 kilometers away, which forced pilots to fly too close to the enemy and take big risks. The ASRAAM changes all that. It can hit targets more than 25 kilometers away, almost double the old range. It flies at Mach 3 speed and uses a smart infrared seeker. Air Force flies more than 55 of these MiG-29 UPG jets in frontline squadrons. These planes guard the northern and western borders day and night. Earlier upgrades added new radars, engines, and digital cockpits, but the short-range missiles stayed old. Now the ASRAAM brings fire-and-forget technology. Once the pilot locks on and fires, the missile finds the target on its own, even if the jet turns away to dodge enemy fire. It also works with helmet-mounted displays, so the pilot can just look at the enemy plane through the visor and the missile follows the eyes. This high off-bore sight ability lets the jet attack from strange angles without turning the whole plane first. This upgrade matters a lot because the region stays tense. Pakistan flies JF-17 jets with modern PL-10 missiles that reach farther and lock on quicker.
The mastermind behind violence during protests in Noida, Aditya, was detained from Trichy and brought back to Uttar Pradesh. PM launches another direct attack on TMC while campaigning in Bengal and says Mamta's party even loots basic rights like water. After reports emerge of IPAC shutting down operations in Bengal, TMC denies claim and says IPAC fully working with them. Union Home Minister Amit Shah to hold a massive roadshow at Chennai, where BJP's Tamil Sai Soundarajan is all ready to contest for. Republic accesses a remand note of accused in TCS grooming gang scandal. Accused repeatedly harassed victim by making inappropriate comments. And ED raids 2 properties linked to Kolkata DCP Shantanu Biswa. Also detains Sun Enterprise Managing Director. Hello viewers, we're getting your top updates coming in here this Sunday evening. I'm Shivangi Shukla getting you the latest. In the Nashik TCS case, NCW fact-finding committee panel member, advocate and member Monica Arora has spoken out on the case. Monica Arora says, today we will meet with the victim and talk with the stakeholders, after which we will submit a report. It's a very sensitive issue, so we will produce a report only after talking to everyone. So this is the update that we're getting for our viewers, and as we keep getting you the latest update coming in, a fact-finding committee is continuing its inquiry into Sunday in the alleged conversion and sexual harassment case linked to TCS Nashik office, and they have been meeting the victims and their families. This is what the advocate Monica Arora said, a member of the 4-member panel, and she says that the matter is sensitive and revealing in nature, so they will submit a report after talking to all the stakeholders involved. They said that they have met the victims and they will meet others as well today, and after the meeting is done, they will be submitting a report on it. The fact-finding panel constituted by National Commission of Women, NCW, is including a retired judge, a retired IPS officer, an advocate, and an NCW coordinator. So Arora said that the process of meeting with all stakeholders would take necessary time as the case is sensitive and revealing in nature. And she added that the matter is very sensitive and we would submit the report after talking to all the stakeholders. The fact-finding committee began its inquiry yesterday into the alleged religious conversion case linked to TCS office in Nashik. So this is what we see right now, viewers. The back-to-back updates coming in here. NCW fact-finding committee panel member has spoken out on the case. Let's go to Anaya, who's joining us on the phone line. Anaya, coming across to you. Anaya is on the phone line. She's in Nashik and she's getting us all the top updates. So we see that the fact-finding panel is very busy. Today as well, they are meeting a lot of families, the victims as well, and they will be holding these meetings before they go ahead and submit a report. Yes, Anaya.
Yes, if we talk about this TCS Nashik case, every day new updates are coming over, and if we talk about Nida, she is still missing. 3 teams from Nashik have left to find Nida, but they could not find Nida. Where is she? They have been to Mumbra, where the relatives, the neighbors say that her husband has bought the house, rented the house 2 months earlier, but they could not even find Nida there. They could not find Nida's family, and as Nida's parents say that they have no clue, they have no idea where Nida is. And I tell you that anticipatory bail has been given to the court yesterday, and tomorrow it is expected that Nida might be there in the court for this entire case, but it is still expecting because the advocate of Nida Khan, Baba Syed, has said that they have given the anticipatory bail on the medical ground. They have given this bail on the medical ground, saying that Nida has been pregnant since 3 months, and still this team are looking for Nida. Where is Nida? Nida is still not there. If we talk about other accusers, if we talk about Shafi, if we talk about Raza, they will be presented in front of the court tomorrow. And if we talk about Danish, he will be presented in court on May 2nd, who is the prime suspect. And ATS team are still, they are looking into the matter. They are talking to the victims. They are talking to the people who are involved in this team. And everyone is now looking for Nida. Nida is still missing. And this is the case now for people, for the ATS people. They might give a press conference tomorrow. This is our information. They might give a press conference on TCS, what is happening in TCS. And if we talk about TCS, TCS has given the statement that they have suspended Nida, but they are still unaware about Nida's whereabouts, where is Nida. And Nida is still missing. But this is one big news that Nida might be presented. Nida might be there tomorrow in front of the court as her advocate has given the anticipatory bail.
All right. Well, thank you, Anaya, for getting us all those details. We also have that reaction of Monica Arora, who is the member of that fact-finding committee. Let's go and play out that reaction coming in.
हम लोग विक्टिम से मिले हैं, आज भी विक्टिम से मिलेंगे, बाकी सब स्टेक होल्डर से बात करेंगे, उसके बाद एक रिपोर्ट सबमिट करेंगे।
आप और कितने दिन आप लोग पैनल जो फैक्ट फाइंडिंग पैनल है यहाँ पे?
अभी आप देखिए, सब स्टेक होल्डर से मिलने में जो समय लगेगा वो लगेगा हमें, बट वेरी रिवीलिंग एंड इट्स अ वेरी सेंसिटिव इशू। तो इसलिए हम चाह रहे हैं कि सबसे बात करने के बाद ही एक हम लोग विक्टिम से मिले हैं, आज भी विक्टिम से मिलेंगे, बाकी सब स्टेक होल्डर से बात करेंगे, उसके बाद एक रिपोर्ट सबमिट करेंगे।
आप और कितने दिन आप लोग पैनल जो फैक्ट फाइंडिंग पैनल है यहाँ पे?
अभी आप देखिए, सब स्टेक होल्डर से मिलने में जो समय लगेगा वो लगेगा हमें, बट वेरी रिवीलिंग एंड इट्स अ वेरी सेंसिटिव इशू। तो इसलिए हम चाह रहे हैं कि सबसे बात करने के बाद ही एक रिपोर्ट दी जाए।
And the Noida labor protest violence key arrest now marks breakthrough in multi-state manhunt. The accused, identified as Aditya Anand, also known as Rusty, was apprehended at Trichy railway station in Tamil Nadu in a major development in the Noida labor protest violence case. The UP Special Task Force has arrested the prime suspect following an extensive multi-state operation. The arrest is being seen as a significant breakthrough after days of coordinated tracking and intelligence-based pursuit across many states. Take a look.
Less than a week after violent protests erupted in multiple parts of Delhi NCR, Aditya Anand, the mastermind who instigated the violence, also known as Rusty, was apprehended at Trichy railway station in Tamil Nadu. Carrying a bounty of rupees 1 lakh, Anand actively evaded arrest by frequently changing locations and altering his appearance, including trimming his hair and beard to avoid recognition. Take a look at how he looked on the day of the protest and how he looked when he was arrested. The arrest was made possible through electronic surveillance and technical intelligence inputs that helped track his movement across state lines. During investigation, Anand reportedly confessed to his involvement as a primary strategist behind the violent unrest in Noida.
देखिए, जो भी घटनाक्रम लेबर अनरेस्ट के दौरान जो था उसमें जो हमने मुकदमे लिखे थे वो बेसना के क्रम है। आदित्य आनंद जो मौके पर दोनों दिन हमारे यहाँ उपस्थित था वो फरार था, जिसके लिए कोर्ट के द्वारा NDW जारी कराया गया था और उस पर इनाम भी घोषित किया गया था। आज उसकी गिरफ्तारी चुचरापल्ली रेलवे स्टेशन से की गई है और उसको ट्रांजिट मजिस्ट्रेट के सामने प्रवेश कर आगे की विधिक प्रक्रिया इसमें।
Anand is accused of not only organizing the protest but also inciting violence, which led to large-scale disruption across industrial zones. Anand is believed to be affiliated with Mazdoor Bigul Dasta, an organization already under scrutiny for its alleged role in previous incidents of labor unrest. Investigation suggests that he worked closely with several co-accused including Rupesh Rai, Srishti, Manisha and Akriti, who are also linked to earlier cases of organized protest turning violent, particularly in Manesar. Rupesh Rai, identified as a key leader of the group, was arrested by Sector 39 police. With the arrest of the alleged mastermind and key associates already in custody, officials believe that the investigation has reached a crucial stage. However, authorities continue to probe the wider network behind the protest, focusing on identifying additional individuals involved in planning and inciting the violence.
All right, let's move ahead, viewers. We're getting some live shots which are coming in. Prime Minister Modi is campaigning in.
सभी क्रांतिवीरों और सेनानियों को मैं नमन करता हूं। आप सभी बीजेपी को, मेरे सभी साथियों को आशीर्वाद देने के लिए यहां आए, मैं आपका बहुत आभारी हूं। मुझे अभी बताया गया 3-3, 4-4 घंटे से आप बैठे हैं। मैं आपके प्यार को, आपके आशीर्वाद को कभी भूल नहीं सकता हूं। साथियों, बंगाल में तृणमूल की निर्ममता को 15 साल पूरे हो चुके हैं। 15 साल कोई छोटा समय नहीं होता है।
Getting some breaking news coming in. Viewers, US national was detained in Srinagar International Airport after authorities found him in possession of a satellite phone. Individual has been identified as Jeffrey Scott, a resident of Montana, USA. He was intercepted during routine security checks, following which security agencies took him into custody for questioning. So getting these updates coming in, US national was detained at Srinagar International Airport after authorities found him in possession of a satellite phone. That is right, in possession of a satellite phone. Individual has been identified as Jeffrey Scott, a resident of Montana, USA. He was intercepted during routine security checks, following which security agencies took him into custody for further questioning. The use of satellite phones is strictly regulated in Kashmir, and possession without prior permission is prohibited. So this is what we are learning of right now. We'll try to get our viewers more updates. We'll try to go to our reporters to understand what exactly is happening in this case. But according to the latest coming in, this is a US national being detained at Srinagar International Airport. And this US national was carrying a satellite phone. I repeat, was carrying a satellite phone, which is heavily restricted and regulated in Kashmir, and cannot be carried without prior permission. Officials said a local person accompanying him has also been detained, and further investigation is underway to ascertain the purpose of their visit and the use of that device. So big updates coming in here. We'll of course try to get our viewers more updates as to what is happening, because the questioning has begun as per the latest details that we are learning of. So the US national was detained at Srinagar International Airport after authorities found him in possession of a satellite phone. Individual has been identified as Jeffrey Scott. Let's go to Zeenath, who's joining us. Zeenath, what are we learning of so far? We know that this US national was carrying a satellite phone, which is heavily regulated.
Absolutely, we are picking from the sources in the Srinagar that a US national who has been identified as a Jeffrey Scott. He's a resident of Montana, USA, and he has been detained by the CISF as well as the Srinagar police because he was carrying a satellite phone, which is prohibited in the Kashmir Valley, and the person who was accompanying this US national has also been detained by the Srinagar police. So we can say that the US national was detained at the Srinagar International Airport. This is the Sheikhul Alam Airport, where he has been detained because authorities have found him in possession of this satellite phone, which is banned at the Srinagar airport. Meanwhile, we are picking from the sources the person who was accompanying this very person has also been taken into custody, and the investigation is on because the kind of device that have been recovered from the US national has put him under the radar of the security forces. So investigation has taken up in Srinagar as far as the US national's arrest in the valley is concerned.
All right. Okay, so we're getting these updates coming in. Arrested for carrying a satellite phone. US national has been detained at Srinagar airport. Now, we also know, Zeenath, that a local person was accompanying this US national. What do we know about this?
The identity has not been revealed as per the sources within the Srinagar police, because though this international airport of Srinagar, it comes under the Budgam police. So Budgam police is seen in an action. Yes, they have been informed. The CISF has informed the local force here. The Budgam police it is a part of the Jammu and Kashmir police, and the person who was accompanying this person at the airport is a local one who has also been detained because the US national was found carrying a satellite phone with him, because as far as the Srinagar airport is concerned, this is a defense airport where all these kind of equipments or the instruments, be it the satellite phone, in fact, they are not allowed even to do the videography or take the pictures of the Srinagar airport, because this is one of the highly sensitive airports. And just adjacent to the Srinagar International Airport, you have the Air Force building as well. So that has put more suspicion on the US national who was in the valley for a visit, who was carrying a satellite phone. Now they will be looking into the entire device, whether he was carrying the kind of pictures, whether he has done touch with him, because this is one more. I remember a couple of months back, there was one more national who had come from the US, and he has not only visited the Ladakh, but his footprints were found in the Kashmir Valley. That time he was found, his movement was found at the sensitive locations of the Indian Army in the Avantipora base, and he has also visited the Buddhist monastery. He has visited the Harvan and other places in the Kashmir Valley, and simultaneously he had taken a place, a homestay kind of a place just near the airport, Srinagar airport. Later, he was also released after questioning, but this is the second incident in less than 3 months where again a US national footprints have been found in the Kashmir Valley when he was carrying this satellite phone that has put him under the radar of the security agencies. There will be the multiple agencies who will be questioning him as far as the details of his visit in the Kashmir Valley is concerned, for how long he had been, whom all he met here, where all he visited all these days, and whether he is in touch with any kind of international or he's in touch with the foreign foreign national. So that will all be taken into the consideration. But meanwhile,
well, thank you, Zeenat. Yes.
At the Srinagar International Airport.
Thank you, Zeenat, for getting us all those details. I will be coming back to you for more on this developing story. US President Trump has been addressing many statements over new crisis that began decades ago, with the US itself playing a role in initiating Iran's nuclear development by providing the foundational technology. Here's more as we keep getting you the latest.
You see, it's quite an irony. The United States is wanting the hold of the uranium from Iran. Who started it all? Iran's nuclear program started in 1957 with United States Atoms for Peace.
Importantly, it never agreed, and you'll understand, they will never have a nuclear weapon. They will never have a nuclear weapon.
One of the biggest reasons Trump kicked off the war with Iran was that he didn't want Iran to have nuclear weapons, not at any cost. But now, when warnings and war weren't enough for Trump, he wants Iran's uranium, the key stuff you need to make nuclear bombs.
The USA will get all nuclear dust. You know what the nuclear dust is? That was that white powdery substance created by our B-2 bombers. And you know how we're going to get the dust, right? Iran. We were going to take it anyway. And somebody said, how are we going to get the nuclear dust? We're going to get it by going in with Iran. We need the biggest excavators you can imagine, but we're going to go in together with Iran. We're going to get it, and we're going to take it back home to the USA. Very simple.
Today, even the thought of Iran having nuclear technology makes the US freak out. However, there used to be a time in the 1950s when the US was the one who gave Iran its starter pack for a nuclear facility.
1950s to 1979, Shah Mohammad Reza Pahlavi, he was the architect of Iran's nuclear program, and United States post-Cold War. And since 1957, as I actually mentioned to you, Atoms for Peace, which was basically a civil nuclear program. It was not aimed at arms production. But it gave the necessary infrastructure necessary technology to Iran to further develop the nuclear weapon.
US gave the nuclear starters pack to Iran on the request of one man. That guy was the Shah of Iran, Mohammad Reza Pahlavi. He was obsessed with turning Iran into a modern powerhouse and wanted the country loaded with advanced nuclear facilities for energy. He dreamed big. Dozens of nuclear power plants, the full fuel cycle, the works.
Shah was certain that this was the future as far as Iran was concerned, and he wanted to expand this dramatically. And therefore, he requested for 20 nuclear plants from the United States, and he got them. The United States supplied to him a number of nuclear plants, and thereafter this technology started proliferating in Iran.
In 1967, the US delivered Iran its nuclear starter pack, basically the first real step into nuclear technology. But it wasn't just handed over randomly. It came through the Atoms for Peace agreement. That deal made it very clear. Iran could get the reactors, fuel and know-how, but everything had to stay strictly for peaceful and civilian use. It was a condition on which Iran agreed to.
That means no nuclear weapons should be used or stocked in our region.
Things were going good for Iran's nuclear ambition until the Islamic Revolution hit Iran in 1977. Reza Pahlavi was overthrown and Ayatollah Ruhollah Khomeini came into power. And now the future of Iranian nuclear facility was going to change.
And especially the Islamic Revolution, what happened was that Pakistan actually comes into the play. And Pakistan was instrumental in AQ Khan, as you know him, Abdul Qadir Khan. He used to black market the nuclear technology, and the first impetus which Iran got into its weaponized nuclear program was post 1980s to 2000 period. And this was the period AQ Khan was instrumental in supplying centrifuges.
The reason Iran's Khomeini regime allegedly conspired with Pakistan's AQ Khan to get nuclear technology for weapons via back channels, because the new regime was convinced the US had played them with the Atoms for Peace program.
Because the Atoms for Peace program, which the United States started, had also included Pakistan and Israel also into this game. So those three countries which United States initiated into the nuclear program was Iran, Pakistan and Israel. And today, you'll be surprised to know that Israel and Pakistan have nuclear capabilities, but Iran does not have. Because the world has got after Iran to ensure that it does not manufacture or produce a nuclear bomb.
The US lost all trust in Iran's nuclear program. They started worrying that Iran was steering it towards the dark side, making bombs instead of power.
The board just completed its first round of discussion of Iran's non-compliance with its safeguards obligations. Not all members spoke, but it is clear that there is widespread concern about the nature of Iran's nuclear program and the intentions of its leadership. A growing majority of countries agree with the European Union that the time has come to report Iran's non-compliance to the Security Council.
Iran started giving justifications on multiple forums and platforms.
Iran would suspend the voluntary application of additional concern. Iran would continue to be committed to NPT and working with the IAEA under the comprehensive safeguard and its obligation.
But you will stop playing ball with the IAEA.
Two voluntary measures, which was additional protocol and suspension, will not be continued if there is any referral from here to New York to the
so that's
IAEA.
That's a real threat to the IAEA.
Anything which will go out of the IAEA, which is the pertinent international organization to deal with the issue, will cause a difficulty.
But secretly, Iran was still at.
A very sinister plan came up in Iran, which was known as the Ahmad plan. And this Ahmad plan was parallel to Pakistani assistance being given to Iran. And it's quite an irony today that Pakistan is brokering peace, because Pakistan was the one who gave this wherewithal to Iran to manufacture a nuclear atom bomb. So now we come to this Ahmad plan, and why it actually came about was because there was an asymmetry now, because Israel and Iran are known enemies. And if Iran has the information that Israel has a nuclear bomb, then why it should not have its own? So this started off, and this US starter kit was the genesis. Pakistan was the catalyst, and now indigenization came about.
As of today, Iran has still not been able to test a nuclear warhead.
Our pure Shahi Paneer Masala. Delicious, healthy, every day.
रानी, इस घर में कुछ है जो टूटता नहीं।
ये पिलर कभी नहीं टूटेगा। रुंगटा स्टील TMT से बना।
रुंगटा नहीं तो घर स्ट्रॉन्ग नहीं। रुंगटा स्टील TMT बाद एकदम सॉलिड।
प्यास बुझाए, ठंडक लाए, सबको भाए जीरा से। MTH का जलजीरा जीरा से।
जीरा से असली रिफ्रेशिंग, असली स्वाद, असली मजा।
MTH।
The Indian Air Force is giving its old MiG-29 fighters ready for today's battles. MiG-29s first came to India in the 1980s, have flown many missions along the tough borders with China and Pakistan. Now they are getting equipped with British ASRAAM missiles that make them as strong as NATO planes in close fights. The Ministry of Defense sent out a request for proposals to fit the Advanced Short-Range Air-to-Air Missile on the MiG-29 UPG version. This British missile from the company MBDA replaces the old Russian R-73 that pilots used for years. The R-73 could only reach targets 10 to 15 kilometers away, which forced pilots to fly too close to the enemy and take big risks. The ASRAAM changes all that. It can hit targets more than 25 kilometers away, almost double the old range. It flies at Mach 3 speed and uses a smart infrared seeker that ignores enemy flares and jamming better than before. The Indian Air Force flies more than 55 of these MiG-29 UPG jets in frontline squadrons. These planes guard the northern and
From Asia's largest news headquarters, setting the agenda for Bharat. You're watching Republic.
Mastermind behind violence during protest in Noida, Aditya was detained from Trichy and brought back to Uttar Pradesh. PM launches another direct attack on TMC while campaigning in Bengal, says Mamata's party even loots basic rights like water. After reports emerge of IPAC shuttering the field operations in Bengal, TMC denies claim and says IPAC fully working with them. Union Home Minister Amit Shah told a massive roadshow in Chennai where BJP's Tamil Sai Soundarajan is contesting from. Republic accesses a remand note of accused in TCS grooming gang scandal. Accused repeatedly harassed victim by making inappropriate comments. ED raids 2 properties linked to Kolkata. DCP Shantanu Biswa also detains Sun Enterprise Managing Director. Getting you breaking news, US national was detained at Srinagar International Airport after authorities found him in possession of a satellite phone. Individual has been identified as Jeffrey Scott, a resident of Montana, USA. He was intercepted during routine security checks, following which security agencies took him into custody for further questioning. So big updates coming in here. Now we see that already the questioning has begun and the American national is being questioned. Why was the American national carrying a satellite phone, which, by the way, the possession of a satellite phone and other GPS devices is strictly prohibited in India and may lead to detention, fines, or arrest. This is what the US Embassy and Consulates in India has already given that travel alert earlier. And even despite the travel alert, we see that this American national was carrying a satellite phone. And post that, the Kashmir police is currently interrogating him and trying to understand what really made that US national carry that phone, but what was the purpose behind it and what was the reason behind it. So US national was detained at Srinagar International Airport after authorities found him in possession of a satellite phone. The individual has been identified as Jeffrey Scott, a resident of Montana, USA. He was intercepted during routine security checks, following which security agencies took him into custody for further questioning in this case. So big updates coming in here on Republic TV. We'll try to go across to my colleague in a short while from now. But according to the latest coming in, this is a travel alert which the US Embassy and Consulates in India has already put up a travel alert. And this is dated 2025, which says that in all of India, they're saying possession of satellite phones and other GPS devices is strictly prohibited in India and may lead to detention, fines, or arrest. American citizen services at US Embassy and Consulates in India have encountered multiple cases involving US citizens traveling to or within India with satellite phones or GPS devices that have resulted in detention and significant fines upon entry, exit, or during their visit. So this is a travel alert which was already put up. However, why was Jeffrey Scott carrying that satellite phone? Let's go straight across to my colleague. Yes, let's go to you. You know, this is a big question that is being raised, that this US citizen has been nabbed in Kashmir for carrying a satellite phone, even though carrying a satellite phone or any GPS device is not allowed. However, he did it and now he's being questioned. Yes, Zinat.
See, we have to understand that Srinagar airport is a defense-based airport where it's quite clear that nobody is allowed to carry any kind of devices, any trackers. You cannot do a photography or the videography at the Sheikhul Alam International Airport here in Srinagar. Though it's a part of the district Badgam, but meanwhile, this US citizen who was accompanied by the local comes from the Kolkata, who also is settled in US. Both have been detained by the Badgam police along with the CISF and other investigating agencies are part of the entire thing, because when they were doing the routine checking of their luggage, it was found they were carrying a satellite phone. Why they were carrying and how long they have been traveling in the valley with this kind of phone, and whether they have traveled to any army installation, any defense installation, any hypersensitive zones, any critical zones that they have traveled or they have done any videography or at all they have made a communication from here to other parts of the world. That is what the investigating agencies will be looking into, because when you land at the Srinagar airport, it's quietly made an announcement in the aircraft itself that this is a defense airport where these kind of activities are not allowed. So how come this US national was carrying this kind of phone with him? And this is not the first incident. Rather, in the last 3 months, this is the second incident that has come into the light where the US citizen was found either with a mobile phone or their charter history has been found where they were in touch with the people from the different parts of the world. So for these 2 US nationals, though one comes from the Kolkata and the another is Jeffrey.
Zinat, we know there's one more person has been detained as well. Zinat, let's tell the viewers exactly what we're learning of. So Haldar Kaushik, who settled in the US, by the way, accompanying him has also been detained. Haldar is from Kolkata. Man accompanying the US national has been detained. So there are 2 people involved here. Not just one. One is the American national and one is the man accompanying the US national has been detained. Let's go back to Zinat on that. Yes, Zinat, let's go straight back to you. The man accompanying the US national has been detained and they both are going to be questioned. That's what's happening right now.
Of course, they both are being questioned because this is a very sensitive installations where the satellite tracker or the phone has been found by the airport authority, and they both have been detained. One is the US national and another one, the friend of him who actually hails from the Kolkata, but now we are picking up. Both have been in the Kashmir Valley, and now they've been found during the checking that in the luggage. This satellite phone was found. They have been detained for the questioning. They will be now things will go in a way that the entire phone will be scanned. The searches will be made. The charter history will be found, and the connections of these 2 people with whom they were in touch with. What kind of communication was there? Have they sent any kind of photograph or the videography to any other person who lives in other part of the country or the world, or there is some hand of the Pakistan? Because for the last couple of months, we have been seeing the US nationals who are carrying either the travel visa or they are on the study tours to different parts of their country in India. They've been found landing either in the Ladakh. Last time, in 3 months before, there was a national who had come on a tourist visa, but he was found, his footprints were found in the Zanskar and other places. When that time also the Ladakh was almost on boil because of the Sonam Wangchu's arrest, and the Ladakh had faced an agitation, and then his footprints were found in the Avantipora base, which is again a defense installation in the monastery in the outskirts of Srinagar, and he had taken a guest house just outside the same Srinagar International Airport. That time also that person was detained by the Badgaam police. He was taken into custody and he remained with the Badgaam police for a couple of days before he was set to go. Now this is the second incident that has come into the light on Sunday when the 2 nationals, one comes from the US, the another is the citizen of the Kolkata international. He was accompanying this US national in the Kashmir, but they were found carrying this satellite phone. And what was the use of satellite phone in the Kashmir Valley? That only the investigation will reveal in coming time.
That's right. Well, Zinat, I'm staying with you because I also have, the advisory, the travel alert from the US Embassy and consulates in India. And it very clearly says that possession of satellite phones and other GPS device is strictly prohibited in India and may lead to detention, fines, or arrest. It's very clearly written here. And wherever somebody travels from US to India, or when they travel from one country to another country, they always look up the travel advisory. So I'm sure that these US nationals knew that carrying a phone is not allowed and they need prior permission. However, they did it. And this also is raising a lot of concerns about national security, Zinat.
Yes, because whenever a foreign national travels to such places, there is a declaration forms that he has to fill, what kind of accessories or his details are filled, and there is a proper portal, registration portal for these foreign nationals at the airports, at the places where they are staying, whether it is the homestay or their hotel. Everywhere they have to declare their identities and the kind of assets and the purpose of visit in the Kashmir Valley, particularly because we have seen that Kashmir has always been on the list of these kind of people who carry the anti-national activities, or they travel to Kashmir Valley on different passports, and they have been making their travels usually on the tourist visa. So this is something where the security agencies now have to look in that what this US national was doing in the Kashmir Valley, whether he has traveled in Kashmir, around Kashmir Valley, or he has gone to Jammu, or he has been traveling to the sensitive areas of the Ladakh. This is all the two UTs, whether it is Jammu and Kashmir or the Ladakh UT. The travel charter will be revealed, and then the kind of investigation that has come in for will also be shared. But as of now, what we are picking from the sources are the two people. One is the US national,
all right, thank you. Yes, absolutely, Zeenat. Thank you. Thank you for joining us with all those details. I have to move on because I'm getting some more breaking news coming in. So let's go straight across to that. A 7-day total shutdown has been imposed across the state by the Meira Paibi, also known as the Women Torchbearers, demanding the arrest of those behind the Tronglaobi bomb attack by April 25th. The Home Minister Amit Shah has now appealed to all to revoke the shutdown, and the shutdown has brought normal life to a standstill. So those are pictures which we are getting for you. This is a statewide shutdown in Manipur, and normal life has come to a standstill. Roads are deserted, markets and shops and establishments, all of them have been shut. Commercial vehicles are off the roads with only a few private vehicles seen plying around. So these are some live alerts that we are getting for you right now to help you understand what is happening in Manipur. And Manipur Home Minister has appealed for the protest groups to call off their statewide shutdown, cautioning that the agitation would disrupt daily life across the state. So that already has begun. This is a shutdown which began on April 19th, has been called by many groups, including the Joint Action Committee, which was formed in connection with the Tronglaobi incident, along with the civil society organizations and the Meira Paibi groups. Okay, let's go straight across to Johnson, who's joining us. Johnson, I'm coming across to you. Now, we see that there are some appeals have been made by the Manipur Home Minister to call off this agitation because it is disrupting daily life. However, these groups, including the Meira Paibi, they are very, very clear that they want justice.
Yes, Shivangi. Manipur has been burning since 3rd May of 2023. And recently, various activities of killing innocent lives are full. So recently, on February 7, which 2 innocent children, including a 5-month-old infant, was killed, which was killed by the bomb attack in Tronglaobi of Bishnapur district. So acting on that, on the same day itself, 3 civilians were also killed by the CRPF action. So the demanding justice and swift action from Manipur government. The JSC, after having a series of talks with the government of Manipur, yesterday itself declared a total shutdown of 5 days in all the districts. That is a statewide shutdown. So right now, as a result of the shutdown, all the village districts are clearly seen, shut. Also, all the shops and vehicles are shut. Right now, I'm along the National Highway Imphal to Sanpur Road, where it passes through the Tronglaobi spot itself. So not only this, recently on 19 and 20, on 18, 2 Naga villagers, including an ex-serviceman of the Naga Regiment of Indian Army, were also killed by the illegal Kuki armed militants. So resulting to that, various Naga CSOs have also hold emergency meeting in Ukhrul town and declares another 3 days total shutdown across the Naga-dominated areas. So this resulted not only in Berry area, the shutdown is declared from 2 sides. One, in connection with the Tronglaobi incident declared by the JSC, the victim family members, and local Meira Paibis and local CSOs, and one on the Hill district, where it is mainly dominated by the Tangkhul Naga community.
Right.
This shutdown is declared in connection with the killing of these 2 recent, in connection with the killing of 2 Tangkhul Naga civilians recently that took place in Ukhrul district.
Okay.
So Manipur is still tense, and we can barely see the movements of vehicles, and we can see all shops, including many institutions and all, they are being shut from the midnight itself.
Right.
This
yes,
is
Johnson.
The ground report.
Well, Johnson, yes, thank you for that ground report, the live report where there's a shutdown in Manipur, and of course, daily life is being affected. Shops and commercial activities have been closed down. Johnson has been on the ground and is getting us more updates. Let's listen into that.
Since total shutdown for 5 days have been declared by the JC against the killing of 2 children for Tronglaobi incident, along with the family members of the victim family, and also along with the various CSOs, local bodies, it affects the day-to-day life in a very serious way. Right now, I'm staying in Lamlong area of Imphal East. Roads on both sides have been blocked by the protesters, showing respect, to the 2 deceased children. We can see in the background here. We can see the vehicles turning back from where they came. All shops are shut. Only medical stores are remain open.
And getting you some international news coming in, Bulgarians are heading to the polls today for the 8th time in just over 5 years. This election comes as the country seeks to break a long-standing political deadlock and elect a parliament that can finally tackle the ongoing crisis. Here's more.
Bulgarians head to the polls today for the 8th time in over 5 years. This as they hope to finally elect a parliament able to resolve the long-time political impasse that has gripped the Balkan country.
Проблемите в България са много. Как бих казала, очаквам след изборите просто да дойде партия, която наистина да поеме както трябва властта, всички да бъдем добре, щастливи. Аз живея в Германия 30 години, обаче съм тук да гласувам и искам да стане така, както в цяла Европа.
This snap vote follows the resignation of a conservative-led government amid nationwide protest last December, wherein they demanded an independent judiciary to tackle widespread corruption.
Ами до някъде да, защото то вече стана много. Тия пари, които се изхарчиха за гласуване, можеха да бъдат една магистрала Хемус и нещо готово.
Sunday's voting is significant as it could bring to power a left-leaning pro-Russian former president, just days after Hungarian voters rejected the authoritarian policies and global far-right movement of Viktor Orban, who cultivated close ties with Russian President Vladimir Putin. The front-runner, Bulgaria's former president Rumen Radev, is leading a newly formed center-left progressive Bulgaria coalition. Radev has cast himself as an opponent to the country's entrenched mafia and its ties to high-ranking politicians. At campaign rallies, he vowed to remove the corrupt, oligarchic model of governance from political power.
На нищо определено от него. Това е един диктатор. За мен е той.
Opinion polls predict that Radev's coalition could get more than 30% of the vote, putting him nearly 10% ahead of his closest rival, Borosev's centre-right GERB party. Most polls report margins of error from 3 to 3.5%.
And despite Iran's announcement of a blockade on the Strait of Hormuz, US President Trump reiterated that talks with Iran are going very well and added that Iran does not possess the capabilities of attacking the US. However, Trump has also added that Iran acted very, very strangely over the years, and recently by closing the strait, that was also very suspicious. To know more, let's listen into this report.
It's working out very well.
got a little cute, as they have been doing for 47 years. Nobody ever took them on. We took them on. They have no Navy. They have no Air Force. They have no leaders. They have no nothing. Actually, their leaders are, it is regime change. You call that enforced regime change. But we're talking to them. They wanted to close up the strait again, you know, as they've been doing for years. And they can't blackmail us. In fact, a lot of the ships are coming up to Texas. I don't know if you know, in Louisiana, the ships are coming up. They got used to it. Maybe they'll keep doing it. Very good conversations going on. It's working out very well. They got a little cute, as they have been doing for 47 years. Nobody ever took them on. We took them on. They have no Navy. They have no Air Force. They have no leaders. They have no nothing. Actually, their leaders are, it is regime change. You call that enforced regime change. But we're talking to them. They wanted to close up the strait again, you know, as they've been doing for years. And they can't blackmail us. In fact, a lot of the ships are coming up to Texas. I don't know if you know, in Louisiana, the ships are coming up. They got used to it. Maybe they'll keep doing it. It's worked out pretty good. But it's going actually along very well. And we'll see. But we'll have some information by the end of the day. We're talking to them. And, you know, we're taking a tough stand. They've killed a lot of people. A lot of our people have been killed. A lot of your fellow soldiers have been killed over the years by Iran. The roadside bomb. Soleimani, I killed Soleimani.
Thank you for that. He was making the explosive form penetrators. They're making them in Iran, bringing them to Iraq, and blasting through the vehicles.
Well, he was the father of the roadside bomb, essentially, and he killed a lot of people. And when you see soldiers or others, but soldiers generally walking around with no legs, with no arms, a face that's been smashed, that was Soleimani. That was Iran that did that. So we have a much different view on it than other presidents. They've gotten away with murder for 47 years. They're not getting away with it anymore.
سخنگوی قرارگاه مرکزی خاتم الانبیا اعلام کرد در پی بدعهدی مکرر آمریکا وضعیت تنگه هرمز به حالت قبل، یعنی کنترل شدید، برگشت و این تنگه راهبردی تحت مدیریت و کنترل شدید نیروهای مسلح. بنابر اعلام سخنگوی قرارگاه مرکزی خاتم الانبیا، ایران پیرو توافقات قبلی در مذاکرات صورت گرفته و با حسن نیت با عبور شمار محدودی از کشتی‌های نفتکش و تجاری از تنگه هرمز به صورت مدیریت شده موافقت کرد. اما آمریکایی‌ها با بدعهدی‌های مکرر مسبوق به سابقه همچنان به راهزنی و دزدی دریایی تحت عنوان به اصطلاح محاصره ادامه می‌دهند.
चमकी चाट से क्या बना है?
सैंडविच लस्सी और छाछ।
हर घूंट में चमकी चाट। अब बताओ स्वाद आया? आया।
असली स्वाद सिर्फ चमकी चाट।
केसरिया से मन जोगी हुआ रे, दिल झूमे देखो मतवारा हुआ रे, केसरिया से मन जोगी।
हर पल मनाओ केसरी त्योहार। विमल, बोलो जुबान केसरी।
आर प्योर सूजी पास्ता उबालो मिलाओ और खाओ 8 मिनट में तैयार। क्या टेस्ट है सबका राजा आर प्योर मसाला।
The Indian Air Force is giving its old MiG-29 fighter jets a powerful new weapon from Britain that turns them into modern fighters ready for today's battles. MiG-29s first came to India in the 1980s, have flown many missions along the tough borders with China and Pakistan. Now they are getting equipped with British ASRAAM missiles that make them as strong as NATO planes in close fights. The Ministry of Defense sent out a request for proposals to fit the Advanced Short-Range Air-to-Air Missile on the MiG-29 UPG version. This British missile from the company MBDA replaces the old Russian R-73 that pilots used for years. The R-73 could only reach targets 10 to 15 kilometers away, which forced pilots to fly too close to the enemy and take big risks. The ASRAAM changes all that. It can hit targets more.
3 days left for the polling in Tamil Nadu and West Bengal. Now, Home Minister Amit Shah takes on DMK in Meilapur, while Prime Minister sharpens his attack on TMC with back-to-back rallies. So, in which direction are the winds blowing in the election-bound states? Now, we'll get you all those updates from on ground at 6 p.m. on The Verdict.
Join International Institute of Hotel Management. Call 983-10-50,000.
थोड़े में ज्यादा स्वाद ये तो है इसकी खास बात। वाओ मम्मा क्या स्वाद है? अरे मेरी राजा। सबका राजा आरती और मसाला।
केसरिया से मन जोगी हुआ रे, दिल झूमे देखो मतवारा हुआ रे। केसरिया से मन जोगी
हर पल मनाओ केसरी त्योहार। विमल, बोलो जुबान केसरी।
चमकी चाट से क्या बना है?
आलू चाट या फ्रूट चाट।
स्वाद बढ़ाए चमकी चाट।
क्या बात है? स्वादिष्ट पकोड़े और फरसान। अरे चमकी चाट है इसकी जान।
असली स्वाद सिर्फ चमकी चाट।
आर प्योर शाही पनीर मसाला, डिलीशियस, हेल्दी एवरीडे।
The Indian Air Force is giving its old MiG-29 fighter jets a powerful new weapon from Britain that turns them into modern fighters ready for today's battles. MiG-29s first came to India in the 1980s, have flown many missions along the tough borders with China and Pakistan. Now they are getting equipped with British ASRAAM missiles that make them as strong as NATO planes in close fights. The Ministry of Defense sent out a request for proposals to fit the Advanced Short-Range Air-to-Air Missile on the MiG-29 UPG version. This British missile from the company MBDA replaces the old Russian R-73 that pilots used for years. The R-73 could only reach targets 10 to 15 kilometers away, which forced pilots to fly too close to the enemy and take big risks. The ASRAAM changes all that. It can hit targets more than 25 kilometers away, almost double the old range. It flies at Mach 3 speed and uses a smart infrared seeker that ignores enemy flares and jamming better than before. The Indian Air Force flies more than 55 of these MiG-29 UPG jets in frontline squadrons. These planes guard the northern and western borders day and night. Earlier upgrades added new radars, engines, and digital cockpits, but the short-range missiles stayed old. Now the ASRAAM brings fire-and-forget technology. Once the pilot locks on...
Thank you for joining us here on Republic on the Our Education College Rankings powered by College Dunia. Ladies and gentlemen, there are so many colleges today across India, thousands and thousands of them. And how do you sift through each one of them? How do you decide which is the best college for the stream that you want to pursue or your child wants to pursue? Now, there are many college rankings in India. They call themselves, there are some government-backed rankings and there are some private rankings. And there are some rankings which are simply manipulated, to say the least. But here on Republic TV, the reason why we are doing Our Education Rankings is so that we can help you make an informed choice for your child. And on this special edition of Our Education College Rankings powered by College Dunia, I have, first of all, let me introduce our panelists on the show this afternoon. I have Sahil Chalana. Sahil Chalana is the CEO and founder of collegedunia.com, who's helping us, he and his team is helping us put the numbers together from all the different colleges. Let's first up tell you that this is India's largest college rankings exercise with over 5,000 colleges factored in, 20 streams measured so that you get that informed number. Let me go across to Sahil Chalana. Sahil Chalana, thank you for joining us, and thank you for helping us put this together, Sahil. And we are also being joined this afternoon by Professor Dr. Chandrabhushan Sharma. He's an education expert and he's joining us live. Dr. Sharma, thank you, sir. Thank you for joining us. Tell our viewers more about the exercise. Why are our rankings different, and how are they different from the ones that are already out there, and why are they the most reliable? Sahil.
So, College Dunia started in 2014. We have been into the college search business for the last 12 years. We are the largest college review website. We have more than about 7 lakh reviews on the website. We cover placement data extensively. All the cutoffs of all the exams we have data of, and in the age of AI, it's easy to compute which are the colleges which are easily to get into and which are the ones which are very, very difficult to get into. And they contribute one of the most important factors in our rankings. So why are the most credible rankings? Because once you look at the rankings, right, these are the colleges where obviously we have taken NIRF rankings into consideration. They also go through, whether the colleges has great placements, career outcomes, and how difficult is it to get into the college. Harvard is Harvard because of the number of applicants to actual admissions ratio, and we have maintained that sanctity.
Okay. First up, what are the different parameters that go into a ranking when you measure a college, right? There are government colleges, there are private colleges, and I just want to tell our viewers as well that on this edition, what we will do is we will be looking at more the private institutes, more than the government institutes. We will be looking at the private ones because we can't really measure the government ones. They have a cutoff, they have their own system, so we won't look at that. They have their own, application system. So in this episode, we are going to look at the streams of engineering, medical, dental, and education. We will be trying to identify institutions that are not just participating but leading the way. First up, private institutions. I want to get one word from you on how you've seen the growth of private institutions, how many institutions are out there, and how intense is the competition to get applicants?
As you said, there are more than 5,000 colleges which we've covered, which includes government colleges, but private colleges are on the upstream, especially after 2000 or 2005. The reason is that private serve a lot of other interests, like, there are bigger campuses, and it is the theory of capitalism play that a lot of private capital can come into the picture. They can invest more in infrastructure. There are a lot of private colleges which have foreign faculty, which government colleges don't have. Now, coming back, how did we get to the rankings methodology? Yes. We have placed certain based weightage on the current rankings which they have, which is NIRF. Yes. The second competitiveness is the career outcomes. Placements is one of the most important factors. Yes. So we have looked at both the placements data, which we have publicly and based on our reviews. And the most important part which we have given to is cutoffs. If you rank high in cutoffs, like if the cutoff for computer science, let's say BTech computer science is low, which means that you are a college very, very difficult to get into, yes, that automatically goes up in the score, which means that it scores better in rankings.
All right. Okay. Professor Sharma, thank you for joining us. We're looking at engineering, medical, dental, and education today. So I'd like to get your opening views on how intense the competition is and why rankings matter. Why ethical rankings matter. Professor Sharma.
Thank you very much. I think this discussion is very timely. Why do we rank universities? Why do we rank institutions? I mean, I won't go into X agency or Y agency ranking institutions. I have worked with various ranking agencies across the globe. Why do we rank universities? We rank universities or colleges to inform the students, the aspirants, to choose the best colleges. Now, the first and foremost is that your parameters must be objective and transparent, informing the learners where you should go and for what reasons. Like MIT is global world ranked #1 in institutions. And if you look at the parameters, the way they are assessed, then also look at the graduates who graduate and where do they settle. So what is important is that we must look at the parameters, the scale on which the institutions are ranked, assessed, and who are assessing. Do they have a stake in it? Now, world best ranking agency is the Times Higher Education of universities across the globe, and that's done from UK. Now, they assess more than 3,000 institutions across the globe. They have parameters which are primarily teaching and research. Now, I would emphasize on that the job of institution is to teach and help students grow in their own disciplines faster, learn better. Now, you may give 100% marks to a student from 3, 4, 5 institutions, but the graduates would be different. So what I would believe is that you must look at agencies which are more transparent, which have more objective parameters, their performance and their methods.
Okay, point taken. Point taken. You agree with him on that?
We think that if a college is good, it is difficult to get into.
Yes.
Like to Harvard, very, very difficult to get into. So what is the most objective way to judge whether a college is good or not is basically cutoffs. If students love you, you know, the lowers in cutoffs. Like consistently Stephens has the best cutoffs, and which is why in our other part of the ranking it does well. So obviously if your college is not able to place its students, it performs poorly. Yeah. So these are now in Indian context, you know, we did not give a lot of weightage to the research and the patents part. We've given a small weightage, but not a lot. The reason is because we wanted to make it more accessible to the parent. So a parent there is thinking, yes, that whether my kids will file patents, but more importantly, he's thinking whether my kid is going to get placed.
Yeah.
Right. And that is what we have placed our emphasis on.
Okay. Okay, so let me go straight to the different verticals, and these are private colleges. Let me start with the private colleges, and if I can introduce the top 10 colleges, because we promised to do that, at least in this episode, for 4 streams. I'd like to go through the rankings. This is our education rankings powered by College Dunia, and we are only putting out the rankings for private colleges. For private engineering, if I can go through the list of the top 10, ladies and gentlemen. Okay, so let me put the numbers out on your screen right now. The top ranked private college for engineering, BITS Pilani, your alma mater. SRM Institute of Science and Technology, Tamil Nadu, ranked 2nd for engineering private institutions. Indian International Institute of Information Technology, or IIIT Telangana, and they also have a campus in Bengaluru. They're at top 3. And Dhirubhai Ambani University 4, Birla University of Technology, that's BIT, that's 5, Vishwakarma Institute of Technology 6, Vellore Institute of Technology, VIT University at number 7, SRM University Andhra at 8, PSG College of Technology, that's PSG CT, Tamil Nadu at number 9, and RV College of Engineering, one of the top engineering colleges in Bengaluru and Karnataka, that's at number 10. Okay, can I get first views on engineering?
You have named institution. I have worked on some of them. I have looked at their profile, how they have grown. Definitely at BITS Pilani, I have been there. Recently, I was there. Also because I happen to know Kumar Mangalam Birlaji. So it's definitely good. It's doing good work. But it has a long history. And it has no dearth of money. It gets money from sources. So both combined, it's a good institution.
Okay, can I get in your view on the engineering, at least the private institutions? Because how much? Of course, like Professor Sharma said, the IITs will be IITs, right? But how much do campuses matter? How much does infrastructure matter today? How much do students look at, a campus, an institute, and the reputation before they make a choice?
So I think reputation is paramount. Reputation is a cyclical theory. It is built by placements. Great placements build great reputation.
Yes.
Good reputation gets you better students. Good students get you better placements. So it's more like a cycle, and it just keeps repeating unless and until somebody says, okay, let me break this cycle. So basically, technically, it's very difficult for a very, very new institution to break into unless until they focus a lot on placements.
Yeah.
Research is important, but yes, placements is the one thing in India which builds reputation.
Yeah.
That's it. There I said it.
Okay. Okay, let's now put out the top 10 private medical institutions. I'm going from the top, ladies and gentlemen, the top 10 private medical institutions in the R Education rankings powered by College Dunia for the year 2026. Here they are. Christian Medical College and Hospital, Tamil Nadu, right at the top, ranked 1 this year. Bengaluru Group of Institutions, or BGI, in Karnataka, ranked 2 for private medical. SRM Institute of Science and Technology in Chennai at rank 3. St. John's Medical College in Bengaluru, ranked 4. Savita Institute of Medical and Technical Sciences, Chennai. Mahatma Gandhi Institute of Medical Sciences, MGIMS, in Maharashtra, ranked 6. Dr. D.Y. Patil Vidyapeeth in Pune, ranked 7. Kempe Gowda Institute of Medical Sciences, or KIMS, in Karnataka, ranked 8. Dr. Ullas Patil Medical College and Hospital, DUPMC, ranked 9. And at rank 10, St. Peter's Medical College Hospital and Research Institute in Tamil Nadu. These are the top 10 private medical institutions. If I can get in Professor Sharma's view on this, because he's looked at colleges rankings. He knows how critical these rankings are for medical, sir. For medical, any observation that you'd like to make? Because we've seen people spend so much money, students spend so much money, people's life savings go into medical education. So how critical is this?
Doctors have very high position in society. So everybody wants to be safe. Becoming a doctor, you will have a safe income. So every family, every child would like to become a doctor. And we have very little seats in colleges compared to the job in the market. Private has more autonomy, and that's why they are doing better. And then this income starts growing. Like BITS Pilani, look at the fees of BITS Pilani and look at the fees of IIT Mumbai or Bombay. Look at the difference. So they earn better, they spend better, they make better facilities available, the students learn more. When they settle, they do better. Students are given more autonomy to decide on their projects in BITS Pilani. I've been to BITS Pilani, studied it. I've been to IIT Bombay just for study, just to find how an institution functioning. BITS Pilani students have more freedom to decide, and they are also supported by the institution because they have autonomy. Their teachers can decide what their students should do, how they should progress. So autonomy is one scale across board which decides on it. Medical education, I won't venture into more, but then you will have to apply the same parameters on all institutions, including medical.
Yeah, okay, well, very well made point. Can I get your views on medical? One quick word in.
So in medical, placements is not the only criteria. I mean, there are obviously other criteria. So one of the most important criteria, like sir said, is academics. The amount of money which an institution spends on its students, like dead bodies per available to a student, is an important part. The quality of faculty is a very, very important part. The infrastructure, the lab facilities, they are one of the most defining factors in medical education. The private colleges which are listed here have decent amount of budgets, so that they are able to give their students good facilities, and which is why they do well in the private rankings here.
Yeah. Okay. I'd like to bring in dental rankings as well at this point. First up, revealing the top 10 dental colleges. Ladies and gentlemen, here they are. At number 1, Manikwal College of Dental Sciences, that's MCODS in Karnataka, ranked 1. The top 10 ranks on your screen. SRM Dental College at number 2 in Tamil Nadu. At number 3 is Sri Ramachandra Institute of Higher Education and Research. At number 4, the Army College of Dental Sciences, that's ACDS in Telangana. Datta Meghe Institute of Higher Education and Research in Maharashtra at number 5. Manav Rachna International Institute of Research and Studies, MRIRS, in Haryana at number 6. SRM Kattan Kulattur Dental College in Tamil Nadu at number 7. At number 8, Vishnu Dental College. Number 9, Chettinad Dental College and Research Institute in Tamil Nadu. And at number 10, we have Vivekananda Dental College for Women, Elayam Palayam in Tamil Nadu. That's at number 10. Top 10. Can I quickly get your views on that, and then we'll go across to our guest also joining us on the show.
I think the dental rankings have been made in the similar way as the medical rankings. The quality of infrastructure, the quality of faculty, the amount of resources available per student, the most important things, and there you have the rankings.
Okay. Okay, we have Dr. Nitin M. Nagarkar, who's a Pro-VC Medical and Health Sciences at SRM Institute of Science and Technology, joining us. Thank you for joining us, sir. First up, I'd like to get your views because your college is also mentioned here in the top 10 in both science and medical at significant positions. I think that's at number 3 in medical and number 2 in dental. I'd like to get your views on what makes SRM better at these streams.
Being very rightly discussed by our experts just now, that you see, as a private university, SRM is a multi-stream university, and it's there for almost 40 years now. Similarly, our medical college is here for more than 2 decades. We've got excellent infrastructure. We're talking about the hospital, the medical college, the labs, the simulation center, the museums for the various departments, including, for example, we're talking just about anatomy, for example. So all those facilities are available. There are separate facilities available for research. We also have a division of medical research, medtech innovation. So all those facilities, not just as per the requirements of the NMC, those are the basic requirements. Yes, we have to fulfill those. Apart from that, we have additional facilities for the students, and consistently we get good quality students from across the country. And it's a reputation which has been built over so many years, but it's again mainly because of the excellent infrastructure. The faculty is of very high standard. They publish regularly. They have patents, projects, all those things which are necessary to make a very good medical institution. The same thing applies for the dental. At the same time, we are not just talking about ranking. The very basic core which we were talking about, the quality of the teaching, the quality of the learning, the academic rigor which is there in these medical and dental institutions that we are running, that is really taken care of. And special attention is given to students, even if it's a large batch. Large means in terms of medical college, a 250 batch is a large batch. But in spite of that, individual attention is given to even to UG students. So it's a constant endeavor. We take the feedback from these students and their parents, and we constantly want to improve.
Yeah, what about SRM now? SRM Medical College Hospital and Research Center is widely regarded as one of India's leading private hubs for advanced healthcare and medical education, spread across a massive 250-plus acre integrated campus backed by a vibrant ecosystem of over 50,000 students, 3,000-plus faculty. It appears to be a full healthcare universe, 40 undergraduate, postgraduate medical programs, over 30 specialty, super specialty departments, 300-plus experienced doctors, 1,600-plus bed multi-specialty hospital, 3,000 patients walking in and out every single day, 22-plus modular operation theatres, high-end labs, dedicated centres of excellence in critical care. And during COVID, they played a huge role, because I have some details here. And the recognition, I think, if I can ask you a question about, what makes SRM special, Doctor?
I think it's been really a fascinating journey, and I think it's a case study. It's an inspiration for all Indians, I think. Our founder, Chancellor, sir, Dr. Parivinder, and he was the one who started off with the Polytechnic. It was way back in 1985 in the outskirts of Chennai, just outskirts in Tamil Nadu, in Kadankulathur. And then it started growing from then onwards. So that campus became larger. It became a multi-stream university. As it grew, as the standard improved, of course, we opened up more campuses across the country. You were just referring, yes, we do have a campus in Sikkim as well. And we have this, especially the SRM Medical College, that we have 2 dental colleges over here. One is in Chennai, one is in our campus. And the institution and the university continues to grow. But that's because of the visionary leadership provided, first of all, by the management, the funding. I think we do understand that in private institutions, the fees are high, but all that which is the generated funds are used for development of infrastructure. That is, I think, the most important part. We've got a fantastic library, which is online and available at all times, 24/7, whether it's for faculty members, researchers, students, that kind of emphasis for research and innovation. And then subsequently, of course, we've got a great alumni connect. But it's the main contribution is by the management, the faculty, and the students. So I think we are very particular about that, and they have been doing exceptionally well. So that kind of the entire feedback which develops helps us to get more and more students. And it's a very student-friendly campus, as I mentioned, campuses across the country. And our institution has done exceptionally well in the last 4 decades. And this institution, SRM, will definitely play a role for the country's development, like we talk, whether it's Viksit Bharat or whether at the global stage. I'm sure SRM will play its role.
Okay, I have one more category left. I'll quickly go through the details of that. This is on the field of education. I think there's a fourth stream that we had to look at. The top 10 institutions, if I can quickly go through the details on your screen. Kasturi Ram College of Higher Education, Delhi NCR. SRM Institute of Science and Technology, SRMIST, that's in Tamil Nadu, at number 2. St. Xavier's College, West Bengal, Kolkata, at number 3. Banastali Vidyapeeth in Rajasthan, at number 4. Amity University, Uttar Pradesh, number 5. GLA University, number 6. Lovely Professional University in Punjab, Jalandhar, number 7. Chitkara University, CU in Punjab, number 8. Galgotias University at number 9. And Kalasalingam Academy of Research and Education in Tamil Nadu, that's at number 10. For years, the conversation around higher education in India has largely revolved around a few established regions. A new wave of institutions in North India is quietly redefining what quality education can look like. And right at the center of that shift is the Galgotias University. Now, according to the latest QS World University Rankings 2026, Galgotias has emerged among the top 15 private universities in India, ranked 43rd nationally, and placed in the 1,201 to 1,400 global band. But rankings alone do not tell the full story most often. What truly stands out is what is changing inside the classrooms. Through its G-scale learning ecosystem, developed in collaboration with global academic experts, the university is encouraging active learning, collaborative thinking, and real-world problem-solving from an early stage. Equally important is its strong industry integration, with partnerships and learning centers involving leading companies like Larsen & Toubro, Salesforce, Infosys, Capgemini, and Apple. Students are getting exposure that goes far beyond textbooks. And what we are witnessing here is not just growth in rankings, but a deeper transformation perhaps in how education is being delivered. And as more students begin to recognize this shift, institutions like Galgotias University are steadily becoming an important part of India's evolving education story. So I wanted to get these details to our panelists and everyone who's watching us, because what we will do is henceforth, and we've made this promise that we will, through our education, get you news that not just you can use, but news that can perhaps build the nation in the field of education. We will promise to give you content that will help you make an informed choice. That is something that we can assure from our side. Any last words on the rankings and the interventions of both our panelists today? Sahil.
So I think both our panelists are esteemed people. They are veterans, so they made great comments. I mean, just listen to them and then say the quality. The eventual goal of our rankings is to improve the quality of education. If we think that through these rankings, colleges spend more on infrastructure, on faculty, getting better faculty, improving placements, then I think our goal of making eventually great colleges and eventually Viksit Bharat. So the path to Viksit Bharat goes to great colleges and great schools. That happens through very transparent rankings which organizations like us are producing. So thank you.
Okay, at this point, thank you, Dr. Nitin Nagarkar, and thank you, Professor Sharma, for being with us this afternoon on this first episode.
Thank you so much.
And Sahil,
Pleasure,
thank
pleasure.
you. Thank you, sir. Thank you. And Sahil, thank you for helping us put this together. They've done the entire data crunching at collegedunia.com. And we'll be back soon with the next episode. Thanks for watching.
प्योर सूजी पास्ता उबालो मिलाओ और खाओ 8 मिनट में तैयार क्या टेस्ट है सबका राजा प्योर मसाला
इस घर में कुछ है जो टूटता नहीं
ये पिलर कभी नहीं टूटेगा रुंगटा स्टील टीएमटी से बना
रुंगटा नहीं तो घर स्ट्रॉन्ग नहीं रुंगटा स्टील टीएमटी बार एकदम सॉलिड
प्यास बुझाए ठंडक लाए सबको भाए जीरा से MTH का जलजीरा जीरा से
जीरा से असली रिफ्रेशिंग असली स्वाद असली मजा
The Indian Air Force is giving its old MiG-29 fighter jets a powerful new weapon from Britain that turns them into modern fighters ready for today's battles. MiG-29s first came to India in the 1980s, have flown many missions along the tough borders with China and Pakistan. Now they are getting equipped with British ASRAAM missiles that make them as strong as NATO planes in close fights. the Ministry of Defense sent out a request for proposals to fit the Advanced Short-Range Air-to-Air Missile on the MiG-29 UPG version. This British missile from the company MBDA replaces the old Russian R-73 that pilots used for years. The R-73 could only reach targets 10 to 15 kilometers away, which forced pilots to fly too close to the enemy and take big risks. The ASRAAM changes all that. It can hit targets more than 25 kilometers away, almost double the old range. It flies at Mach 3 speed and uses a smart infrared seeker that ignores enemy flares and jamming better than before. The Indian Air Force flies more than 55 of these MiG-29 UPG jets in frontline squadrons. These planes guard the northern and western borders day and night. Earlier upgrades added new radars, engines, and digital cockpits, but the short-range missiles stayed old. Now the ASRAAM brings fire-and-forget technology. Once the pilot locks on and fires, the missile finds the target on its own, even if the jet turns away to dodge enemy fire. It also works with helmet-mounted displays, so the pilot can just look at the enemy plane through the visor and the missile follows the eyes. This high off-bore sight ability lets the jet attack from strange angles without turning the whole plane first. This upgrade matters a lot.
3 days left for the polling in Tamil Nadu and West Bengal. Now, Home Minister Amit Shah takes on DMK in Meilapur, while Prime Minister sharpens his attack on TMC with back-to-back rallies. So, in which direction are the winds blowing in election-bound states? Now, we'll get you all those updates from on ground at 6 p.m. on The Verdict.
Join International Institute of Hotel Management. Call 983-10-50,000.
चमकी चाट से क्या बना है?
सैंडविच लस्सी और छाछ
हर घूंट में चमकी चाट ड्राई फ्रूट और दही बड़े चमकी चाट से स्वाद बढ़े
असली स्वाद सिर्फ चमकी चाट
केसरिया से मन जोगी हुआ रे दिल झूमे देखो मतवारा हुआ रे केसरिया से मन जोगी हुआ
हर पल मनाओ केसरी त्योहार विमल बोलो जुबान केसरी
थोड़े में ज्यादा स्वाद यही तो है इसकी खास बात। वाओ मम्मा क्या स्वाद है। अरे मेरी राजा मसाला।
The Indian Air Force is giving its old MiG-29 fighter jets a powerful new weapon from Britain that turns them into modern fighters ready for today's battles. MiG-29s first came to India in the 1980s, have flown many missions along the tough borders with China and Pakistan. Now they are getting equipped with British ASRAAM missiles that make them as strong as NATO planes in close fights. The Ministry of Defense sent out a request for proposals to fit the Advanced Short-Range Air-to-Air Missile on the MiG-29 UPG version. This British missile from the company MBDA replaces the old Russian R-73 that pilots used for years. The R-73 could only reach targets 10 to 15 kilometers away, which forced pilots to fly too close to the enemy and take big risks. The ASRAAM changes all...